This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live, where my mic is way too loud. Good evening, welcome. Micro check, 1, 2, check, check. That sounds right. Good evening. It's a freaking Sunday. I'm not high enough for this shit. Clinically, sacrificial MILF. Good evening, DJ Dub, M Lord, Warlord. Good evening, welcome. I just don't want to be crunchy. I don't care about being too loud. I want to be crunchy. Minty, good evening. Who's a Czech? You know, I don't know if I've ever met anybody from Czechoslovakia, Croatia, or whatever. Czechoslovakia. I can't even say it. I'm sorry. Am I racist? Maybe, who knows? I try not to be, but you know, when you're doing the comedy sometimes. Exactly, no crunch, CJ. M Lord, how dare you? How fucking dare you? I've been on Dave's show. Fucking I've seen Dave come on here and fuck his audio up on my show. Don't come here to my chat and tell me that Dave has the best audio. Also, do you know what? The time that Dave hosted the Freak Show was one of the worst Freak shows ever. He came on here and he gave me nothing. He's like, I'm tired. I don't want to be here. Fucking come in here and talk shit about Dave in my chat. He might have better audio right now because I have... Fuck you, Warlord. Goddamn. Yeah, I'm salty. I am salty. Dave, one of my best friends in the world. I would go on his show and fucking tank the thing. Fucking fuck. Fuck you. I ain't doing it. I ain't fucking doing it. Because it was Warlord, I ain't fucking doing it. Oh, no, M-Lord, no, it's fine. No, I got upset at Dave because he would come in here into the chat and be like, hey, did you guys see this video, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, trying to derail my show, and I'm like, brother, you would fucking yell at people. If they came into your chat, was like, hey, did you see this video that has nothing to do with the thing we're watching right now? Then I would never go on and wreck his show, but no, he comes on, he's co-hosting my show. On the other side though, Media Winch and I, we did the best freak show ever on Friday night. If you missed it, you missed the best episode of the Friday Night Freak Show, and it was impromptu. I didn't even intend on doing one. I was just like, hey, Media Winch, you want to hop on the Freak Show? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And we did it, and it was fucking awesome. Theme of the day. It was the Freak Show. It was like 6 p.m. California. Just getting out of bed, my ass. Don't make excuses for him. Don't make excuses for him. And it's not like he didn't know. He knew he was going to be on plenty of time in advance. I'm sorry. I'm not salty. I love Dave. Now I don't care. I don't give a shit to go into his chat and promote myself, though. Go into his Discord, be like, hey, watch this video. Yo, you want to see a salty bitch? I'll show you a salty bitch. This dude in my YouTube chat. He told me that Bob Casey. Okay, God damn it. Because I'm a man of the people. Told me that Bob Casey needed to be arrested for treason And I said, what did he do that you considered treason? And he said, the Iran deal. And I said, what about the Iran deal was treason? It was like, oh, it allowed them to enrich uranium. And I was like, no. It actually put limits on their enrichment of uranium to only energy needs and allowed UN inspectors in. They are now enriching uranium thanks to Trump pulling out of the deal. But this dude threw an absolute bitch fit. I'm owning you, which is why you're constantly melting down and desperately banging away on the keyboard every time I respond. If you'll notice, there are very few responses from me. And several responses from him. I'm owning you. You're melting down and flailing. Were you dropped on your head or deprived of oxygen? I keep saying, hey man, I'm on at 8 o'clock, call in. Sloivin Heaven, my friend. If you are watching this right now, I want you to call in. Please own me on my show. If you want to embarrass me, call in, Discord in, own me on my show. That is the way you embarrass me. Back to your meme of the day. I will indeed show you Elon Musk jumping for joy on stage as Trump made his return to Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend. I was trying to watch wrestling with you guys during that time. Restream had an issue, and then I just ended up like, all right, I'm going to go watch wrestling for real since WWE was already on. But apparently I should have shown the return to Butler, Pennsylvania, because it was big numbers for Trump on social media. Trump doesn't like flies. We're going to talk about Israeli airstrikes. How a Iranian general hasn't been seen. A bombing campaign carried out on Beirut on Thursday. Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, knew about Israel's attacks and blocking aid to Gaza, covered for them, and tried to self-immolate outside of the White House. I believe this was yesterday, maybe Friday. He was stopped. We've got the crazy video. Pakistan is on fire, but probably for a good thing. We're going to cover the unrest going on as supporters of a jailed ex-prime minister have rallied in Pakistan in spite of a despotic police crackdown. California residents are wanting to say bye to Felicia, the fire that is raging. Lawmakers push for more FEMA funding. Trump is spreading false claims about the response to Helene in Appalachia, which really pisses me off. Meanwhile, those in Florida, southern Georgia, possibly North Carolina, are going to have to brace as we are having our second once-in-a-century storm hit the Gulf Coast starting like tomorrow. I believe several towns have to be evacuated by 3 p.m. tomorrow as Milton has become a hurricane going to hit Florida as at least a Category 3. Fortunately, it is not going up into the United States. It looks like it's going to go across Florida and back into the Atlantic. I say luckily, still going to be devastating for Florida, which is still recovering from Helene a week and some change ago. But at least it's not, hopefully not going to bring catastrophic rain back to Appalachia, where I don't even know that we're finished with rescue and recovery efforts at the moment. We're not even back into the rebuilding phase. Johnson can't say that Biden won the election. Corey Lewandowski, campaign advisor who apparently assaulted someone, victim speaking out, known by the name of Lady Trump, convicted in a wire fraud case. You are not gonna believe what she did if you haven't already heard about it. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. The dumbass from YouTube has come in. Sleeping heaven. They're not letting people in. Oh fuck. I've got to reset the clock. One, that's my area. I am sitting in Appalachia right now. I am sitting mere minutes from the devastation. I can tell you, FEMA has been here the entire time. Trump is lying to you. You believe nonsense. I can show you the statements from Brian Kemp, from Roy Cooper, from Ron DeSantis. FEMA is broke. But not for the reasons that Republicans are talking about. And we're going to get into that when we get into FEMA funding. Energy Flow, welcome in, my friend. Lenny, good evening. Buddy, you can't just say things and have people take you seriously when I can show you evidence to the contrary. FEMA has been working round the clock here in this area. And all of the local officials here in this area want people like you to shut up. And I can show you them saying that. I'm not lying about anything. Now, if you would like to have a conversation with me, the number will be on your screen. 917-830-4359. You can hop into the Debate Freakin' Discord. Nobody gave all the money to illegal aliens. That's stupid. That's xenophobic. That's racist. Just repeat BS that you hear right-wing media say. You have no proof, and I'm not going to argue with you if you're just in the chat. So, 917-830-4359 is the number where you can hop in the Discord. The links are down below. If you would like to have a conversation with me, the phone line is open. The Discord is open. If you hop into the Discord, just let me know you're in there. Yes, you're also going to notice that several of the people in the chat are from Appalachia, and they're going to get very, very upset with you if you continue to spread lies that do nothing but actually harm the relief efforts. Holiday, good evening. So it is time to find out what that news be doing. We're going to start off tonight with Israeli airstrikes continuing in Lebanon. Hezbollah rockets hit Haifa after Israel pounds Beirut. Once again, a sovereign country, an urban epicenter, curious are donning the alter ego to head over to the YouTube and give him a warning. Now, he's been arguing on my page all day. That's why, I want him to call in. But unfortunately, he's probably just going to be a little wuss and not call in for us. I'm sorry, Warlord. Did the timer go away? Ramreds, good evening. Here does not help a sore or sick throat. You need to follow my recipe here. I'm gonna give you the lowdown. Make yourself some hot tea, as hot as you can stand it. Add about 2 shots of whiskey. Add some lemon juice and some honey and stir that up. That's called a hot toddy. And you will feel instantly better. Instantly better. Mainly because of the alcohol. The alcohol gets you a little drunk. Ain't nobody wanting to drink any pisky. Rockets launched from Lebanon have hit the Israeli port city of Haifa, injuring at least 10 people. Israeli military carried out intense bombardment in Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp, killing at least 17 people. I feel like there's a bit of discrepancy on the two sides. Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Mikati said the army is prepared to bolster its presence in the south and enforce a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, provided it receives the necessary military equipment. Gaza officials said 12,000 wounded Palestinians need medical help abroad, and another 3,000 who are critically ill will need to leave the strip to get medical treatment. Israeli airstrikes have targeted southern Beirut after the military issued an evacuation order for 4 buildings in the capital's suburbs. Khalil al-Hayya, a member of Hamas's Politburo and its chief negotiator, said that Israel is still blocking a ceasefire agreement despite the group's flexibility. UN refugee chief Filippo Grandi has said that many airstrikes on Lebanon have violated international humanitarian law in reference to Israel's bombardment of civilian infrastructure. I just said honey, but if you can get local honey, that will be best for you, especially if what you are experiencing is allergies. Local honey that has the pollen of your local flora and fauna will absolutely help you overcome your seasonal allergies. So take that into effect. The honey is to help the hot toddy has multiple medicinal purposes, right? The hot tea will help soothe your irritated throat. Jinx pumpkin spice. The honey helps it coat your throat and helps the alcohol, because the alcohol is going to kill germs and bacteria that's in your throat. It's giving you problems. The honey helps it coat your throat. I don't know what the lemon juice is for. Just helps with your voice, I believe. If you can get local honey, that would absolutely be best for you, especially if the symptoms you are suffering from are the cause of local pollinators. I don't know nothing about this, and I'm out here giving medical advice. You know what I do know about? I know what that news be doing. This report from ProPublica came out a couple weeks ago. Mr. Spronk, Israel deliberately blocked humanitarian aid to Gaza. 2 government bodies concluded. Anthony Blinken rejected them. Blinken told Congress within the last 2 weeks, we do not currently assess that the Israeli government is prohibiting or otherwise restricting aid, even though the U.S. Agency for International Development and others had determined that Israel had broken the law. Israel has broken numerous U.S. laws, and we keep letting them get away with it. Israel has killed numerous U.S. citizens, and we keep letting them get away with it. Energy Flow, good evening. Government's 2 foremost authorities on humanitarian assistance concluded this spring that Israel had deliberately blocked deliveries of food and medicine into Gaza. The U.S. Agency for International Development delivered its assessment to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and the State Department Refugees Bureau made its stance known to top diplomats in late April. Their conclusion was explosive because U.S. law requires the government to cut off weapons shipments to countries that prevent the delivery of U.S.-backed humanitarian aid. Israel, and as if we didn't already know this, I mean, why did they have to build the stupid pier? Blinken and the administration of President Joe Biden did not accept either finding. Days later, on May 10th, Blinken delivered a carefully worded statement to Congress that said, we do not currently assess that the Israeli government is prohibiting or otherwise restricting the transport or delivery of U.S. humanitarian assistance. Prior to his report, U.S. aid had sent Blinken a detailed 17-page memo on Israel's conduct. The memo described instances of Israeli interference with aid efforts, including killing aid workers, razing agricultural structures, bombing ambulances and hospitals, sitting on supply depots, and routinely turning away trucks full of food. If you would like to read the whole ProPublica report, here it is in the chat. I didn't see no phone call from the dude that's trying to troll me over on YouTube. Harry Sue, good evening. While back here in the United States, people are still going to extremes to try to protest U.S. involvement. This is video of a man who attempted to self-immolate in front of the White House. I don't actually think this is in front of the White House.
Being neglected! We spread the misinformation! I'm a journalist, and I said it was
What in the world?
Neglected! We spread the misinformation!
You can see that he had set his arm on fire, and they were able to put him out.
Journalist, and I said it was
Dude trying to put water on his arm. He's burned. I don't know what that cop is doing.
being neglected!
The cop should probably be arrested for assault. That was completely uncalled for.
I'm a journalist, and I said it
Might have been the fire chief. Okay, this happened yesterday. This was yesterday evening. Police took the man away and have set up a perimeter. Kelly, good evening. See if I can get the news story on it. Fox 5 chimed in wanting to use the video. Let's see if they did a story. That is a military helicopter above me right now. I can assure you that is a military helicopter transporting supplies via FEMA right now above me. So, Sprock, to answer your question, no, FEMA is not stopping private citizens from providing. I don't know what you mean by that. FEMA is not an. There's a lot of misinformation going on. FEMA is not an agency that you can volunteer for. However, if you contact FEMA, they will put you in contact with agencies that you can volunteer with. If you are going to try to provide help in a situation like that, you always need to go through the proper channels. Look it up on your phone, look it up on the internet, find out where you can go and volunteer, because that needs to be coordinated. A lot of people want to act like they're helping, they'll go and just get in the way. So you need to coordinate with local agencies. Inexperienced people that are not plugged into the right information. Natan, when are the U.S. election results? We are exactly 1 month away. We are exactly 1 month away from the U.S. election. Early voting starts in a lot of municipalities in the next week or two. Apparently, Fox DC did not do a story on the man who tried to self-immolate by asking for permission to use the vehicle. The video, I'm sorry, vehicle. Clinically, he's already voted. Early voting is apparently, I didn't know there was already places where early voting had started. I thought it was like the earliest was this week. Any of you made arrangements? Have you gotten yourself a absentee ballot? Or, because if you're not going to be here when early voting starts, you'll need to get an absentee ballot. Oh, everybody, it's Sloivenhaven. What's up, dude? Everyone laugh at the pussy that won't call in and wants to run his mouth in the chat and won't call in. Do stick around. I am going to be talking about the Did he just try to correct the way I said emulate? And call me a moron? What do they call those homophones, right? Words that sound alike but are spelled differently. It would be one thing if I had spelled it out. Also, it's kind of a running joke on the show that I mispronounce everything. So, welcome! But I don't even think I mispronounced it. I think I got that correct. Anyway, are you going to call in or are you a fucking pussy? I don't think you got no balls. Right wingers are definitely morons. I say everything wrong. I own up to that. But I still don't think I said it wrong. I don't think I did. But to be fair, it's me we're talking about. Mom says you're a little puss. Come on, man. Are you gonna call in or are you just gonna run your cocksucker in the chat? Do you think we just fell out of the coconut tree?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It's the same word. They're pronounced the exact same. Well, if I transition my gender, she can give me a titty slap then.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
If I'm so wrong, call in and argue with me. Because we're going to go back to the news. We're going to the Karachi airport in Pakistan, where at least 4 people have been injured following the unrest in the country. Light one up, tip one back. I say as we watch a vehicle on fire. This was the scene earlier today for us, last night for them in Pakistan. Cutest little ambulance ever. What is causing the unrest in Pakistan? Let's get the lowdown on that. Supporters of jailed ex-prime minister rally in Pakistan despite a police crackdown. Demonstrators rally demanding that Imran Khan be released from jail despite a ban on protests and police crackdown. They are doing one of my favorite things in the world, which is kicking authority in the balls.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
I hit the wrong one, but hopefully they all washed their asses before they got out there anyway.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
I scrolled too far down. Supporters of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan have rallied in Islamabad to push for Khan's release as the police blocked roads, cut off mobile internet, and fired tear gas to deter the protesters. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party on Saturday claimed that the party leader from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, I fucked that one up, province, Ali Amin Gumpur, had been abducted and unlawfully detained, but Al Jazeera could not independently verify the claim. Grundupper, the chief minister of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, was leading thousands of protesters who camped on Islamabad Peshawar Highway on Friday overnight. Police used tear gas as they attempted to enter the city. This is the latest in a series of protests held by supporters of the opposition Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party, which has faced a crackdown from authorities. The PTI, which says the Islamabad protest is just for one day, also held a gathering in the eastern city of Lahore on Saturday, where a lockdown of roads was in place. I am so proud of all our people, said a message from Khan posted on the social media site Twitter on Saturday afternoon. Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi accused the protesters of clashing with police police officers have been injured in the clashes. Over 80 police officers have been injured in the clashes. Naqvi had previously called on the PTI to delay any gathering until after diplomatic engagements in the city, including a Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting on October 15th, which will be attended by delegations including China, Russia, and India. PTI activists began driving to Islamabad on Friday from his power base in northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, but encountered shipping container roadblocks and volleys of tear gas. Naqvi said the authorities had intelligence that the protesters planned to disrupt the SCO conference in a bid to gain attention. We can't allow this. I will say to them again to not cross more red lines. Don't make us take extreme steps. It is hilarious to hear me read something that is absolutely second grade reading level. I would say Al Jazeera probably writes at about a 7th grade reading level at least. I'm just mispronouncing the names of towns I've never heard of in Pakistan. Because I didn't read this beforehand. I do a live show where I react to the news. Back when I was an actual news reporter, I would have read that beforehand, looked up all the words I didn't know so I didn't sound like a dumbass. But me sounding like a dumbass on stream is kind of the fun of it. I'm no pre-watch Andy, or pre-read Andy, if you will. Buddy, all you're going to do is sling insults at me, and you're not going to be man enough to actually call in. You probably are a 2nd grader in the fucking chat. You probably, hey guys, that's why I'm not gonna call in, because my balls haven't dropped yet, and I sound like this. I shouldn't even be in an 18+ stream. Brother, I love the dumbasses on YouTube that don't notice all the people on Twitch. I fucking love it. It is hilarious how dumb you make yourselves look. You can see all the comments on the fucking screen and don't realize that we're on multiple platforms. Twitch, which is where people like to watch a live stream, is where most of the people are. There'll probably be about 50 or so. Sunday nights are usually hopping by the time we get to the end. Out in California, residents of Felicia are experiencing fire.
This breaking news that we're following. This is a new brush fire in the Lake Piru area. It's really exploded in just the last few hours. It's called the Felicia Fire, and it's prompted an evacuation order issued for all areas of Lake Piru recreation area. This includes Dominguez Canyon. For more on this, I'm joined by Andrew Dowd from the Ventura County Fire Department. It looks like you're right there on the front lines. Thanks so much for stepping away to talk to us. Why don't you give us the latest on the Felicia Fire? Where does it stand?
Absolutely. So where we stand right now is approximately 2.
Guys, do you want to see? Do you want to see how many followers he has? Because he is a wannabe YouTuber. It's always hilarious when they they try to fuck with me. God, I can't help myself.
Hey, Justin.
You guys might have to redeem the get back to the news. Oh my God, he's gonna say his channel has over triple the views. This is his channel. He does like sports fights, so he's not even got any kind of original content. Nobody would give a shit about what he has to say anyway. Hold on, give me 1 second. Fucking this browser doesn't like to show me all the info. YouTube only really works well with Chrome. Like, it's to the point now where I have to upload all my videos on Chrome. It won't even let me upload them. Princess Kimberly, good evening. This is our buddy here. He does hockey fights. He does have triple the views. I'll give him that. Fair enough. I mean, you're just repackaging other people's content. That's kind of cheap, don't you think? But hey. Well, technically, I'm a glorified clip show. Yes, he has, what, a third of the subscribers I have, but he does have triple the views. Give him that. 10 times the videos and half the subs. Ooh, DJ Dub coming with the smoke. Krail, good evening. Okay, and like, are you going to call in? You've wanted to run your mouth on my goddamn YouTube all fucking for like 2 or 3 days now. Are you going to call in? Gonna show everyone what a little bitch you are, and you whine that I've deleted your comments. Look how obsessed he is. Look how many comments back to back to back. Why do liberals hate America so much? Conservatives like myself are vastly superior to libs, and you will show me respect or I'll have you doxxed and your channel shut down. Conservatives like myself are vastly superior to libs, and you will show me respect or I'll have your channel doxxed and your channel shut down. Oh, my friend, bring it. Do you really? I'm King Troll of the internet. Abattoir, good evening. Then he goes back to Iran for a little bit. And here's the thing. Iran did allow inspections. There were inspections the entire time under the agreement. What is known as the Iran deal. If you got the ability to do it, I'm calling you a liar. Put your money where your fucking mouth is. Come the fuck on. You won't call in because you're a pussy. Because you call in and I'm gonna be the real man. Because my balls have actually dropped. I've got facial hair. Because every time I talk to one of you dumbass little right-wingers, you're all like 20 years old, can't grow a fucking beard. You sound like this. You sound like Taylor Swift is what you sound like. Little fucking nerds. We had inspections all the way up until Trump threw out the agreement. And now, to this date, right now, they say they will go back to the inspections under the Iran deal. They are saying that right now. We just did that story a week ago where we had the head of the International Atomic Energy, whatever the fuck it's called. You sound like a dumb fuck, dude. You're being dealt with after the election. You're going to find out with libtards like yourself are second-class citizens. Wow. I'm more intelligent than you could ever hope to be. Cope harder, incel. The incel. The incel is calling me an incel. I almost had to call off the show tonight because I had a date. I don't know why she no-showed me. All right, kid, I know more than you ever will. If I could draw it for you in crayon, I would, since you might be able to understand it better. It's the same. Do you realize how many right-wingers say that fucking crayon thing to me? 10, 15, 20 times a day. You're going to tell me get out of my mom's basement next, aren't you? You're like a little wind-up doll. Libtard, make America great again. That's all you could only like fucking say 5 different phrases. That's why I call you guys morons. Absolute fucking idiots. You don't have a high enough IQ to understand. You didn't. However, thank you for proving my point that you're the epitome of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The epitome of the Dunning-Kruger effect says in my goddamn thread. I just owned you on your own channel. Maybe one day you'll graduate from the short bus. Yeah, how many times has he said short bus in the chat already? I'm owning you and live rent-free in your tiny head. The guy who is spamming my thread, having a complete meltdown, says I'm triggered and that he lives in my head. Oh yes, this is my basement. My kitchen that's in my basement. My living room couch that's in my basement. A nice fucking basement, isn't it? I'm owning you, which is why you're constantly melting down and desperately banging away on the keyboard every time I respond. Look at this. Look at this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 responses in a row. But I'm the one banging away on my keyboard every time he responds. You fuckers have zero self-awareness. Please, like, it would make the world a lot better place if you could learn to feel embarrassment. Learn to feel embarrassment, and then we wouldn't have to deal with your dumbasses. Still my favorite. Let's go. Where's it at? You didn't say anything near as good. Oh, hold on. Yeah, kiddo, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. I can literally turn your life inside out. Keep quiet and don't mess with people who are vastly superior to you. I dare you to, man. I dare you to. Every single person that has tried to step to JustinFREAKIN has fallen. I assure you. Go look on my channel. I've got the video proof. Just a couple of weeks ago, a famous rapper by the name of Con Man tried to crash my Discord. Guess what? Has me blocked on everything now. Why don't you try to find where Ben Martin is now? He used to host a show called Man Up Mondays. JustinFREAKIN manned up and he ain't around no more. Conservatives like myself are vastly superior to libs, and you will show me respect or I'll have you doxxed and your channel shut down. I miss when I was 95 pounds. And fuck, like how many right-wingers have come in here and called me fat? So thank you for saying I'm 95 pounds. I appreciate it. Flattery will get you everywhere. I've got titties nowadays. I deserve a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Well, he said all of us are going to be dealt with after the election. We're going to find out why Why we're second-class citizens. Oh my God.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Sorry for everyone who came for the news. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I get so into this shit. It's like Christmas for me. I love trolls. Stroking on stream is against TOS.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Not if you're on My Free Cams or Chatterbait or something like that. You just got to be the right stream. Just not on Twitch. Lawmakers are pushing for more funding through FEMA because, you know, they're the ones that appropriate it.
Turning to Helene now, and we have new video this morning out of North Carolina showing just how severe the flooding was immediately after Helene. This is in Asheville, and you can see an entire building washed by. That's the top of that building. A man shot the video from his third-story apartment. It turned out to be part of a local tea business.
Tea?
Better scope of the damage here. These are before and after images of Chimney Rock, North Carolina, which is not far from Asheville. You can see just how much of the infrastructure was washed away. U.S. lawmakers say FEMA may not have enough money to help everyone in need. Lee Waldman shows us what leaders are pushing for.
This disaster in Western North Carolina is catastrophic.
Nearly a week after Hurricane Helene came ashore, cutting a path of destruction across 6 states, President Joe Biden toured the wreckage Wednesday alongside North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
I approve the request of Governor Cooper for the federal government to cover 100% of all the costs for debris removal.
This after Biden suggested he would be open to calling Congress back from its recess for a special session to pass a supplemental relief bill. Last week, Biden signed a 3-month stopgap government funding bill in which Congress did appropriate $20 billion to FEMA, but some fear that will not be enough.
Well, all federal spending is about priorities and look at the swath and the breadth of the damage across so many states. But it'll take a while. It'll take 30 days or more for them to assess that. But Congress will have to address it.
As we look at the infrastructure damages to water, to the cell lines, to power, the ability to get those turned back on is going to be complicated just by the way Appalachia is configured.
Already, more than 3,500 federal personnel are helping in the recovery efforts. FEMA also delivered a cargo plane full of food, water, and emergency supplies to Asheville, North Carolina, Tuesday.
We know that this is going to be a sustained operation.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
If you are wanting to help, we have some resources on your screen right now. Our parent company, EW Scripps, created a fund.
If you are wanting to help, I don't know what this foundation is, but if you're wanting to help, I can get you, if that is something that the chat wants me to do, I can get you a list of local resources. I'll put it in the, I should have already done that anyway. I will make a list tomorrow of the local agencies that I know are doing good work, that the money will get spent the best. I'll put it in the Discord. I will promote it on the show tomorrow night. Because I don't give to just any old agency. The Red Cross, always important to give to. If you're ever in doubt, just go with the Red Cross. I'll get you a list of local organizations where you can get the best bang for your buck, and I'll put that together tomorrow. I'm gonna promote that. I should have done that already. That's stupid of me. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Someone that is not helping with the recovery efforts are right-wingers who are saying stupid shit, like in my chat earlier, and Donald Trump out on the campaign trail. Prometheus, good evening.
Yeah, this is his closing argument. He's going hard on mass deportations, and it sure isn't hurting him, probably helping him.
And the Trump campaign believes that immigration is going to be a winning issue for them, Terry. They talk about it every chance the former president gets. And mass deportation is really the crux of their immigration plan that they, again, believe is a winning issue. A few fact checks from what we just heard so far from the former president, if you don't mind. A lot he said there, a lot to fact check. I've just pulled out a few things. First, he made this offhand comment where he says, as it relates to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, that folks in North Carolina and various other states that were in the path of the storm are, quote, getting no help from the federal government. Those were his words. That is untrue. The former president has taken to saying that, but that's not true. There's 3,500 federal personnel on the ground in those various states right now. We know that FEMA has handed out just about 2 million meals by last check. They're handing out generators. FEMA personnel are, of course, on the ground there. Not to mention, of course, the fact that President Biden was on the ground in North Carolina yesterday. He was.
I want to point out the Starlink thing because I thought Elon Musk, he wanted some good PR, right? He apparently made Starlink free for 30 days to anyone in the affected area. I thought, oh, that's cool. I didn't know what Starlink was. I figured you just go to your phone, boop, 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 and you're on it. Nope, not how it works. Not how it works. And Elon Musk, completely fucking useless once again. You sign up for Starlink, you have to purchase the equipment. Still, you get 30 days free service. You have to purchase the equipment, and it takes 2 weeks to get here. How would I know what Starlink? It's a satellite. I think your phone bounces off a satellite. I figured it would just be boop, boop, boop. Nope, nope, nope. He just did that for PR. Had no benefit to the people of Appalachia whatsoever.
Was first in the air surveying the storm damage, and then he was on the ground there, in which he has now vowed that the federal government will pay for the cost of 6 months of debris removal. So the idea that folks there are getting, quote, no help, as the former president says, from the federal government is just simply not true. There's one more thing to fact check there. He talks about Joe Biden. He does it a lot. He talks about that effort by Democrats to push Joe Biden off the top of the ticket because they believed he just could not win. The former president is accurate when he says that Nancy Pelosi and other top Democrats pushed Joe Biden to step aside. But then he goes out on a limb that's not accurate, and he says that they threatened to invoke the 25th Amendment to do so. The 25th Amendment is a provision, as you know, Terry, in the Constitution that can oust the president. But the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, has no power to invoke the 25th Amendment. Only the cabinet can do that. And there was never any reporting that Democrats threatened to kick Joe Biden out of office or off the ballot. It was ultimately, as you know, President Biden's decision to step off the ticket because he believed or heard from Democrats this concern that he could not win. That's why we now have Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee.
Fair enough. What Trump was probably doing. There was talk among Democrats. It was public. It was in op-ed columns and the like that the Democrats could invoke the 25th Amendment if Biden wouldn't go. But I didn't think that
was never on the table. Yeah, you can be a mod on YouTube, Prometheus. I think Curiouser has it like covered at the moment, but like absolutely, we can always use more mods in case the YouTube gets hopping. Not gonna turn you down. There. Ain't nobody watching on YouTube right now. There's my Prometheus. Ooh, I gave you all the power too. You're a head mod over here. There you go. Your sword, my friend. I don't even know who Prometheus is. Just some rando that showed up in chat. I just gave him power. That's how easy it is to get over on me. Come in and suck up to me for a little bit and you can take over the channel. It's what Warlord did. Just some Canadian jackass. Now, here's the unfortunate part of the show, is if you're in Florida and you're still reeling from what's going on, I got some real bad news for you. Because on the heels of a once-in-a-century storm, out of nowhere, we're getting ready to have yet another once-in-a-century storm.
A next weather alert from CBS News Miami.
Yeah, we do want to get back to Casey. Casey, we are tracking Milton very closely, but ahead of that, we are expecting a lot of rain as well.
Milton.
Yeah, so this is just going to be kind of a two-pronged system here. We've got what is going to be an area of low pressure already set to bring us some very heavy rain as we head into later today and into tonight. And then behind that is where we find Milton out across the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. These two features combined just overall going to be bringing us a very wet stretch of weather across South Florida, where we will continue to monitor our flood threat very closely. It's going to be increasing here as we head over the next few days and soils become more saturated. Out the door for your Sunday morning, cloudy, wet in spots. We've been tracking some showers out across.
We don't need Sunday morning. We need Milton.
Along the northern border near Parkland. Back to work and kids head back to school. Multiply undergo a period of rapid intensification, likely becoming a hurricane by tonight, Category 2 hurricane by Monday night, and then a major Category 3 hurricane by Tuesday night before making landfall across the west coast of Florida, as unfortunately what is going to be.
They're already issuing evacuation orders for tomorrow afternoon. And it's not even going to make landfall until Wednesday? Holy shit.
A major Category 3 hurricane, nothing that they need.
Oh, clinically, I'm so sorry.
After Helene, then working its way across the peninsula pretty quickly here Wednesday into Thursday, and then
you have somewhere to go
as we head into Thursday night. Notice much of South Florida no longer in that forecast cone as confidence continues to increase on track. We now no longer have any model that takes it into South Florida. As we look at our spaghetti models, notice they all, though, will be zeroing in on the southwest coast of Florida, west coast of Florida, Tampa. Really going to have to watch what could be a very dangerous situation very closely. So what are we going to see here locally? Still things that we're going to be fine-tuning here, as we will see likely some shifts in tracks, shifts in intensity that's going to change our impacts. But our main threat looks to be flooding. It's going to be a heavy rainfall event here locally, especially as we head from now.
I think that's the worst thing.
Milton's impacts that we'll see Tuesday into Wednesday. The flood risk will remain highest. I do think we're going to see some gusts right now. And again, these are just preliminary numbers. Gusts look to be between about 40-50 miles per hour, so kind of similar to what we saw with Helene.
Oh God, that means we're going to be covering hurricane this week.
A surge, especially down to the Keys. Here is that flood watch in effect.
I don't want to cover hurricane this week.
Average of 4 to 7 inches will be a possibility, but again, those numbers still subject to change. Out the door, a lot of cloud cover. Temperatures at least will be kept down with all the rain as we head for the next several days. We will continue with the very wet.
So I guess tomorrow we'll get a much better idea, because it's still pretty far back in the Gulf. I thought it was closer with the fact that they are issuing evacuation orders for tomorrow afternoon. Fair enough, clinically. The flooding is what I'm worried about. I've now seen such major flooding events in my life. That's what worries me. It doesn't look like it's gonna fuck off. It is rapidly intensifying. That's the problem. Did you guys see the meme of the day? Some of you might have not seen the meme of the day. Let's do that first. Kind of dovetails into our next story. White men can't jump too. Floods ain't nothing to fuck with. I assume everyone in my chat has already seen the iconic picture, right? The one that's in the meme.
Now to the US, and Donald Trump's returned to the site in Butler, Pennsylvania, where he survived an assassination attempt in July. Addressing crowds of cheering supporters from behind bulletproof glass, The Republican presidential candidate described the suspected assassin as a vicious monster who unleashed evil. He also appeared on stage with the tech billionaire Elon Musk. Will Grant was at the rally.
As I was saying,
in the same spot where he was almost killed 3 months ago, Donald Trump took to the stage in bullish and defiant mood and immediately referenced his attempted assassination.
time stopped as this vicious monster unleashed pure evil from his sniper's perch, not so far away. But by the hand of Providence and the grace of God, that villain did not succeed in his
Memories of that day remain fresh in Butler. Firing from just 150 metres away came close to killing the former president, grazing his ear. As he was taken bloodied from the stage, he urged the crowd to fight.
Memory.
That day, former Fire Chief Corey Campertor, his helmet and uniform on display, and his grieving.
Yeah, he timed his speech to come out and be out for this moment of silence.
This time, amid much tighter security and from behind
the whole big ordeal.
Mr. Trump repeated his calls for his supporters to secure his victory in Pennsylvania in November, and he called his most high-profile backer, tech billionaire Elon Musk, who endorsed him soon after the shooting.
There you go. There's the jumps.
Take over, Elijah. Take.
In the immediate aftermath of the assassination attempt, Donald Trump received a notable bump in the polls. By returning to Butler, he hopes to project an image of fearlessness and bolster his support with less than a month
Was he mispronouncing Elon's name?
Butler is staunchly pro-Trump country and now synonymous with a presidential shooting. But some supporters see the hand of history, even divine intervention, in his brush with death.
It just felt obligated to come. I felt like it was like a historic moment, kind of like an Abraham Lincoln type situation.
In my opinion, God has saved his life twice now, and with God on his side, nobody can beat him.
This race remains on a knife edge, with Kamala Harris also working the swing states hard with just weeks to go.
Damn, DJ Dub, that picture looks so cool.
The town could still influence this election via the
badass
rather than the gun. Will Grant, BBC News in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Less than a month to go until polling day in the year.
Yes, Abraham Lincoln, famous for surviving assassination attempts. That's what he's most notable for. Notable for. Dougie, good evening. I want to watch it again.
Capital is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space.
Redland Thought, good evening. I give Redland Thought a shout out for me. Give Lenny a shout out for me as well. If you didn't already, you guys are really good about showing love. Take Trump to see a play.
Rocket capital is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space. Take over, Elijah.
It sounded like he said Elijah. Am I smoking crack on that one?
Is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space. Take over, Elijah.
I don't know what the fuck he said.
Is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space. Take over, Elijah.
Eli? I don't know. But then again, who am I to mock somebody for mispronouncing something? Trump apparently really doesn't like flies. He's not a fan of flies. This was in Wisconsin.
We gave choice. And we also did something that was very important. We got rid of 9,000 sadists and bad people from our Veterans Administration. And we got rid of them. They hated our soldiers. They hated our heroes. We got rid of and replaced them with people that love our people. That's what we want, love our country and love our people. The other thing we did, which is very important, is Joyce, because our veterans were waiting in line. You know, we had a 92% approval rating with our vet. Now it's down into the 40s, and they're getting rid of it. By the way, what we did for the military with that, you know, we gave choice.
Wait a minute, you didn't say anything about flies? Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Plant.
There it is.
A week. I don't like flies.
There we go.
Get out of here, fly. Never been a big fan of flies. You don't mind my bringing that up, do you? Anyway, this is a very aggressive sucker. That is, this one. This one in particular is very aggressive. Like, I'm going to be aggressive.
Look, his material sucks, but he's killing. Flies love shit.
If this can a coal plant a week, I don't like flies. Get out of here, fly. Never been a big fan of flies. You don't mind my bringing that up, do you? Anyway, this is a very aggressive sucker. That is, this one. This one in particular is very aggressive. Like, I'm going to be aggressive for our country. You can probably say that. If this can...
I mean, he killed with it. He killed with it, so who am I to argue? Like, it's hack. I think he's a hack comedian, but his material kills. So, yeah. But I do want to point out that this shot really highlights how small his tiny little hands are. They are very, very tiny little hands. Why don't we hear more about the Trump would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks? Why don't we know more about him? That is a fascinating question as Trump returned to Butler, Pennsylvania this weekend.
94 days after nearly pulling off an assassination, why do we still know so little about the shooter behind the plot to kill Trump? We know Thomas Matthew Crooks planned this in advance through internet searches. We know that he scouted the area ahead of Trump's rally. He flew a drone, went to the gun range to practice. It was all very calculated. And we know that he worked at a local nursing home kitchen and that some say he was bullied in school. But beyond that, we hardly know anything. He left behind very little social media activity. The FBI director said he barely had any contacts in his phone. I think it was only a couple, he said. And any other details we've been able to gather have come from former classmates who just kind of knew him just a little bit. They didn't even know him that well. Take a look at what one of them told us.
Well, from what I do know is he was a very intelligent kid, and he was really did well. He really did well at in school.
It's a profile.
Had some kind of passion for like computers. He didn't make it onto the rifle team. From what I've heard, he was just not a good shot.
So how is it that this 20-year-old came within millimeters of taking a former president's life, and we still don't really know?
It wasn't a good shot.
Or why exactly he did this. No manifesto, no explanation. So many questions. Joining me now to talk about it, we've got retired FBI agent.
Well, here's the thing I want to point out, though, is that he kind of was a good shot. Trump's just lucky he turned his head at the right moment. Per the picture, we still don't know exactly, was it glass that hit his ear? There's still a lot of questions. But you look at the picture, the reason why I believe that he was grazed was you see the bullet in the shot that like the New York Times reporter had taken. I've shown the picture several times on stream. I can probably dig it up. It's way down in my downloads folder now. Trump turned his head at just the exact moment, or it would have been a headshot. So I don't know.
And Stuart Kaplan. Stuart, it's always nice to see you. First of all, do you think it's odd that we still don't know very much about who this kid is? It seems like in other situations, the FBI, at least it seems like they release a lot more information.
I think the FBI is very, very familiar with who this individual is, and it is my understanding that they have completed a profile and a full sketch of where he was.
This is just my assessment. I think he's the normal school shooter profile, that he was a loner. He had some undiagnosed mental health issues that he wasn't dealing with well. Martin didn't get no pussy. So and my message to kids like that is like, it gets better. That was somebody when I was in high school talked about like, school ain't shit. Wait till you get out. It gets better. Everything's better. School is bullshit. None of this matters. Your grades don't matter. Nothing matters. It's like all this pressure when you're a kid. It does not matter at all. Does not matter what kind of a person you were in school. Just a regular weirdo kid. Didn't fit in, and we put all these horrid pressures on kids. And it seemed like he had a bad home life as well. Hurt people.
What he was doing through the preparation and planning phase. I think what the public doesn't realize is that this investigation has been designated as a national security investigation that kind of puts a little bit of a different spin on it. And that is that basically the information is kept at the highest level, the secret level. And that information will not be disseminated to the general public until such time as Congress gets together with respect to it. It'll probably take some speed.
He didn't look at a place at the Trump rally
to finally force our government to release the information that they are well aware of right now.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just thinking about the other attempted assassination. I can't believe that I'm even saying that. But it happened near where you are in Florida, in West Palm Beach.
It's been a wild election year.
More about that man. I mean, there was even like pages released of his manifesto, but yet we get nothing with the shooter here.
I don't think we have anything with Crooks.
Well, the difference, Brian, quite frankly, and this is my opinion, but I think I'm pretty good when I worked with the Secret Service, and I understand the men and women, they operate at the highest level. So let me just go back a little bit. The threat assessment to the protectee is the driving force behind the United States Secret Service in determining what assets need to be deployed to keep that.
Oh, shut the fuck up. The reason we know more about the other guy is because he's alive and they're presenting a court case against him, and we have court documents to go off of. The other dude's dead. Crooks is dead. And I don't think they're... Second dude seemed to be really online, has a presence, is photographed a lot, had a circle of people to talk about him. A completely different case than Crooks, who I believe was a loner and didn't have a digital footprint. Was on encrypted sites as opposed to Facebook, Twitter, whatever. He wasn't on here posting his opinion about every goddamn thing in the world. So I don't think there is that much to learn about him. Whereas the other dude, I feel like he told everybody everything. He was like me. He couldn't keep a secret. A political artist's election cartoons are apparently wanting to make a statement. An artist hopes to make a statement. They're political cartoons.
A world-traveled artist will begin his latest art series in Colorado, hoping his political drawings will make a statement in the upcoming election.
Fuck that one up, didn't I?
Reporter Janelle Finch is here to tell us more about his message. Janelle?
Kyle Holbrook says he hopes that as people pass by his work, they feel empowered to cast their vote in the upcoming election. Art in Rhino is a guarantee.
The Rhino is, one of the best arts districts in the country.
And artist Kyle Holbrook wanted to make his mark on this part of Denver with a message.
It's important to remind people that no matter who wins the election, we're still all Americans. We got to do it peacefully. And I wanted to have some artwork that went all around the country, that started in the Rhino, and that spoke to the need for peace throughout this elections.
Holbrook says he wanted to get ahead of whatever happens after the 2024 election.
There's a lot of rumbles of possibilities of some violence, no matter who wins.
So now through November, Holbrook is putting up caricatures like these.
My apologies for scaring your wife. Please tell your wife I send my sincerest apologies, and I am very loud.
Across the country. His nationwide travel is funded by grants from the Moving Lives of Kids mural project.
We've done murals in 49 states, 43 countries around the world, really focused on education through art.
He says each drawing takes a few minutes, but he hopes those few minutes help convey his message.
To remind people the importance of voting, and that it's an important part of being American, but also to do it peacefully.
Holbrook is planning to take a series to 15 states, including several swing states. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
I mean, he's a good artist, but I don't think that's a very profound statement. Like, just vote with a peace sign dripping with blood? That's been done before. What's that mean? It's a statement on the duality of man, sir. I popped at least 3 people in the chat. Probably more. Mike Johnson was on with, I think, Stephanopoulos this morning. Once again, he is refusing to say that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020.
So it's very clear you're not going to condemn the baseless suggestion the Democrats are behind the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I want to ask you another question.
There's so many. Please, anything
Well,
else?
you have the opportunity to condemn it if you want. You have that opportunity, but we can move on now. I do want to ask you a question that Senator Vance did not answer.
He doesn't condemn. He condemn. I condemn him not condemning.
At this week's debate, can you say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
See, this is the game that is always played by mainstream media with leading Republicans. It's a gotcha game.
How is that a gotcha?
Want us to litigate things that happened 4 years ago when we're talking about the future. We're not going to talk about what happened in 2020. We're going to talk about 2024 and how we're going to solve the problems for the American people. I think this game that's played all the time, I'm not going to engage in it.
I went up, tip one back.
Joe Biden has been the president for almost 4 years. Everybody needs to get over this and move forward. That's what we need to talk about. What happens on November 5 and the days after that. I think that's really important, and that's what the Americans demand for us to talk about.
So like Senator Vance, you cannot say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
George, I'm the Speaker of the House. I work with the President of the United States all the time. Joe Biden has been the president for 4 years. There's not a question about this, okay?
Did he win the election? Did he? That's the question. Do you think we just fell out of a coconut tree, Mike?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It's already been done and decided, and this is a gotcha game that's played, and I'm not playing it. I want to talk about the future. Let's talk about policies. Ask me anything you want on any challenging issue. Let's put that out there for the American people. That's what they need to hear.
Well, it's President Trump who every single day, former President Trump, at just about every rally is saying that the election was rigged, that he won, and that Joe Biden lost. I'm just saying if you accept that or not.
George, I'm not going to play the game. Ask me any question on any issue that's facing the country.
What game?
The biggest issues that we face. How about another hurricane headed toward the country? How about Israel being fired upon by Iran? How about the rising crime rates that have everybody alarmed around this country?
Crime is at historical lows. We saw like the single biggest year drop ever from 2023 to 2024.
And the cost of living, because hardworking families can't afford to do it. We have
the rising crime rates. They just make shit up. Remember Corey Lewandowski, Trump campaign aide, as he was assaulted and his victim says she was assaulted and stalked by him in 2021. She is speaking out against him.
All right, a serious subject now. This guy, Trump aide, Corey Lewandowski, He was ousted from the former president's inner circle after a woman accused him of assaulting and stalking her back in 2021. Well, guess what? Back in August, former President Trump rehired Lewandowski to help with his presidential campaign. In a CBS News exclusive, Lewandowski's accuser sat down with our Nikki Batiste, and she joins us now to talk about this. Nikki, good morning. Good to see you. Walk us through what this accuser has.
Hey, Nikki.
Vlad, good morning. So Trishelle Odom told me that back in September of 2021, she was then married to a Trump donor. She had been invited to a charity dinner in a Las Vegas hotel without her family. She was seated next to Corey Lewandowski. She didn't really even know who he was at the time. She was fairly new to the political scene. She said he very quickly made her uncomfortable, making sexual innuendos. He started touching her leg, pulling back her dress. Again, this is her story to me, telling her how large his private areas were and how long he could last in bed. Eventually, she said
he was like, I got a big dick, you know that?
She did get up from the table. She tried to ask for help, found her way out of the party, but that Lewandowski followed her through the hotel. So she told me, I said, why didn't you just leave? And she said, well, I did, but he followed me. And she said she just tried to stay into a crowd until she could safely get to her hotel room. She did go to police eventually. The Las Vegas police ultimately charged Lewandowski with misdemeanor battery. He cut a deal to have the charges dismissed, but he did have to pay a fine and was required to apologize to Odom. After the incident, Trishelle Odom told us that she was offered money to not say anything from Lewandowski's lawyers, but she declined that offer. She said she also had a phone call from Donald Trump himself saying he's going to be off this campaign, explaining that Corey Lewandowski was drunk that night. He was removed at that time. Fast forward, whenever Corey Lewandowski was added back on to Trump's campaign, just
of course he was.
She was upset. Trishelle didn't receive a phone call, and she felt that it was time to talk. She said she told me she wanted to share her story now to try to protect other women. I should note we reached out to the Trump campaign. They did not get back to us. We also reached out to Corey Lewandowski and his lawyers. He declined to do an interview. They didn't specifically address these allegations when we asked, but just noted that this particular case had been dismissed. And Trishelle Odom, again, said she's speaking now. She wants to help protect women. She's not involved in politics anymore. She has since divorced, and she felt that this was the right time to do so. Vlad?
Yeah, Nikki, I just wanted you to hit that a little bit more for people who are wondering why Trishelle decided to bring this to the public light again. And it's the last point that you made, right? Clearly, the allegations here are very, very serious, and I think she's just trying to shine a light on who this man is, because there are perhaps other women who might find themselves in similar circumstances.
That is what she felt. She felt that she said it alarmed her that Corey Lewandowski has back this level of power. I will note there have been at least two other public incidences involving Corey Lewandowski. One of them, quite famously, on CCTV video, him grabbing a reporter's arm. So Trishelle told us that, again, she just worried for other women. Her own opinion about Corey Lewandowski's behavior is that she was fearful he might perhaps...
Didn't he assault his wife as well, or was that a different Trump campaign person?
Do this again.
So many of them.
And she felt like it was her duty really to speak out.
All right, Nikki Batiste for us. As always, Nikki, excellent reporting. Thank you very much.
I love the message in chat that says clinically insane used add permitted term. Tiny penis cuck. Add permitted term. Tiny penis cuck. We keep adding it. We keep telling it things like that are okay. It doesn't seem to learn. It's not a very smart algorithm. Let's go to Las Vegas. Cuck. Michelle Fiore. Upon a time known as Lady Trump, apparently, was Justice of the Peace. And wait till you hear what she was found to be committing fraud about, because this one's great.
Breaking news here at 5 o'clock. Michelle Fiore guilty in a federal wire fraud case. Thank you for joining us here at 5. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Closing arguments, deliberation, and a verdict all in a matter of hours. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy in the courtroom earlier today. Now Vanessa has more from downtown Las Vegas.
A more subdued Michelle Fiore after she learned she was found guilty on all 7 counts. The jury returning that guilty verdict in less than 2 hours. Here's what she had to say.
We're still in it. We're still in the thick of things. And my attorney is going to hopefully, apprise you of a lot of situations that you're unaware. You were aware yesterday that I wanted to say a few things to the judge, and I wasn't allowed to.
Can you comment on how fast they reached the verdict?
Typically, when people are that fast, they've already made up their minds even before the closing argument. So
I can't stand it. They haven't told you yet. She set up a charity for dead cops and never gave the money away.
Had there been some type of testimony that occurred in the middle of the trial that caused the majority of them to say, oh, that's all we needed.
Do you want to comment on any emotions? Not the case, but just emotions right now.
I would love to, but so I'm going to take my attorney's advice and just not.
Fiore guilty on conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 6 counts of wire fraud. Prosecutors say she raised money for a statue to remember slain Metro Police Officer Alan Beck, but then spent the money on personal expenses, including rent and her daughter's wedding. Defense attorney Michael Sachs says he plans on filing an appeal. Fiore remains a free woman at the moment. Her sentencing scheduled for January 6th. Attorneys on both sides calling this an unusual case. The witnesses included business leaders, even the governor. There were twists and turns after her daughter, who's accused of being a co-conspirator, took the stand in her mother's defense. Her testimony then stricken. Again, Michelle Fiore found guilty on all 7 counts. Federal prosecutors leaving the courthouse and
try the daughter too.
Their argument was Fiore used a tragedy to line her pockets. Reporting in downtown Las Vegas, Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Prosecutors telling the judge they were not asking for Fiore to be taken into custody immediately, but they intend on requesting electronic monitoring.
Oh, shit. They used to call her Lady Trump. Right now we're getting into the horrific crime part of the show. I don't think we have all that much tonight. Shooting. Okay, those are pretty. Okay, we've got this horrific story I'm getting ready to do, and 3 shootings, and I don't even think 2 of them were fatal shootings. So we got 4 stories that are really bad. If you don't like the really hardcore crime stories, then give us about 15-20 minutes. Not going to take all that long. But if you do like horrible crime stories, oh my God, do I have one for you tonight. We're going to Arizona, where a mom was decapitated by her son.
The mother is dead, and police say she was a victim of an unspeakable crime. Her son accused by Glendale detectives of stabbing her and beheading her.
Now, we want to warn you, these details are disturbing, as you can imagine. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live now with more. So, Lauren, police say the suspect was just released from jail.
What?
Yes, that's right, John and Christina. Police say that the family told them that the son, Alejandro Gonzalez, who's currently the suspect, was recently released from jail and living with his mother, Teresa. Court documents say that the family said Gonzalez had a mental condition and that they believed he was capable of doing this.
We're going to be talking about a very heinous crime that took place over the weekend.
Okay, that's a fashion choice right there. The shirt and the jacket. This is the Glendale Police Department. So I guess that gives us a good indication of what Glendale, Arizona is like. This is Jose Santiago of the Glendale Police Department.
Again, that left one of the Valley's families in very desperate and basically terrified shape.
On Friday afternoon, Glendale police says this home was the scene of an unspeakable murder. 49-year-old Teresa de Jesus Cruz Rubio, a beloved teacher at Southwest Key Programs, was found dead. Cop cars and crime scene tape covered the street, alarming neighbors like Dora.
About 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, officers just started showing up, and the whole street was closed off.
Police say Teresa's sister was the last to talk to her late that afternoon. She was calling her to confirm she'd be at a family gathering, which was supposed to be Teresa's surprise birthday party. But when she didn't show, family became worried. They finally got inside her locked home near 43rd Avenue and Bethany Home Road with the help of a locksmith around 11 p.m. That's when they made the gruesome discovery.
The 911 caller stated that a family member was inside of the house and was deceased, and that the victim's head had been cut off.
Brian Hoskin with Glendale PD says officers found the victim under a blanket with multiple stab wounds. Officers noticed the shower was still running and a bloody kitchen knife was in the sink. Teresa's sister told officers her burgundy GMC Yukon she gave Teresa to use was missing. Fox 10 obtained this video of the SUV captured by a neighbor's Ring video leaving the home in the late afternoon. Around 3 a.m., police located the car with Teresa's 25-year-old son, Alejandro Gonzalez. Police say he had injuries on his hands and arms and blood on his clothes. Once in custody, court documents say Gonzalez admitted he stabbed his mother, but told officers he did it after another unknown suspect he was doing drugs with stabbed her first.
Alejandro claimed there was another suspect involved, but no evidence pointed to this as the detectives looked through the scene and all the evidence that they collected.
He's currently on first-degree premeditated murder and theft. A judge set bond at $1 million, cash only.
It's horrific to the family who had to endure this. It's horrific to the officers who had to go and see this.
Oh, fuck the cops.
Yeah, and Glendale PD
cares about their
says there are resources available for both the family.
They love that shit.
Who arrived on scene to process this horrific sight. Reporting live here in Glendale, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Don't give me that. They love that shit. Oh, it's horrific for the cops. Go to Pennsylvania. Energy Flow. Good evening. Freedom. Good evening. Who else snuck in here on me? T-minus. How are you? Good evening. Glad to see you, my friend. Lucky. King Burrito. I love you. I love everybody in the chat. Even our good buddy, Sloivenhaven. Sloivenhaven, I love you, you stupid fuck. I'm glad you're here tonight. One person is dead after a shooting in Delaware County in Pennsylvania. The weekend, so of course we've had several shootings.
Tonight, I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is breaking news. Police in Collingdale, Delaware County were called to a Wawa tonight where a woman was shot and killed. Let's go right.
You're not safe at a Wawa. Where are you safe at?
Action News reporter Charles Watson with details. And Charles, so far, what do we know?
Oh, King Burrito, we just covered Milton. Also heading straight for Clinically. My heart goes out to you guys, and I really don't want to be here this week as we cover that hurricane. Holy shit. Once in a century storm happening 2 weeks. It's insane.
Well, Walter, we know that.
Yes, I love you for that, T-minus.
Happened in the parking lot of this Wawa here behind me on McDade Boulevard. In fact, police in the last few minutes or so have scaled down their crime scene some, but there was quite a presence out here between police the Delaware County Crime Investigation Division and the medical examiner's office. In fact, we actually just saw the medical examiner take the victim's body away from the scene within the last 45 minutes or so. Police tell us the victim, whose body had been laying in the Wawa parking lot for some time, is a female. At this point, they have not identified her, but we're told there was some kind of confrontation earlier this evening that eventually led to shots being fired and the victim being fatally wounded in the Wawa parking lot. Again, it's unclear what exactly led up to the shooting, but at this hour, police do say they have someone who they are currently questioning in regard to the.
I've never been to a Wawa, but I hear they're nice, or they like a Sheetz. I love a Sheetz where you can get like really good food at a gas station. Sheetz is awesome. Where does Wawa rank on a Sheetz level?
The deadly incident. We did speak to one neighbor who tells us he was shocked to see that
you get a good sub at a Wawa?
Steps away from what he says is normally a quiet neighborhood.
Kind of strange to have this kind of thing happen out here, especially around in this neighborhood. So,
are they owned by the same people?
Quiet. The most noise I get is a train every 5 hours. Very sad, and all the best to the family.
Yeah, and you can see crime scene investigators over by that red or burgundy car. They've been focusing a lot of their attention on that vehicle in the last, hour or so that we've been out here at this scene. Now, not long ago, we did see the victim's loved ones out here who were visibly distraught over the loss and obviously have a lot of questions about what exactly happened out here. Police and investigators obviously have a lot of questions, too, as they continue to work this scene and continue to try to figure out what exactly happened during this deadly incident.
Minty, I don't know that I have ever had a convenience store hot dog or that I would ever try a convenience store hot dog. Yeah, okay. So I liked Sheetz when I was working on the road a lot. I had a Sheetz when I would head out to go home. It was easy to get off work. Like if I was getting off work and going straight back home, which was 5.5 hours away, there was a Sheetz right there. You could stop. I always got like a mac and cheese cup and some like chicken strips or something. Get you a nice little platter of food that you can eat in the car. You can fill up on gas, and then I do drugs in the parking lot. Then boom. Because like Sheetz a real nice big area. Let's go to Atlanta, where 3 people were shot. I believe this is like a nightclub kind of thing. Okay, I will not eat food from a gas station other than like a Sheetz is a good restaurant. I would say a Sheetz is better than a Subway. And you can get sandwiches from a Sheetz. Higher quality than a Subway. So that tells you where it ranks. Yeah, you can definitely do drugs in a Wawa parking lot. Going to Atlanta where 3 people were shot in a nightclub parking lot.
Police are searching for the suspects after 3 people were shot outside of an Atlanta nightclub. It happened just before 1 a.m. at the vault hidden inside the bank on Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway.
That sounds cool.
Erica Murphy has the very latest on the investigation tonight.
Police say just before 1 a.m. Sunday, officers were called out to a shooting at the Bank nightclub on Donald Lee.
Moving on company time.
Atlanta.
Welcome in.
Officers found an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old. Both men had been struck by gunfire. A third victim later arrived at a hospital for treatment from gunshot wounds at the same scene. Investigators say all 3 men were shot when someone in an unknown car fired into the parking lot. Community activist Al Bartel says violence needs to stop.
Enough is enough. We have to have a citywide peace in the streets movement.
Bartel says his time serving in the Vietnam War and seeing all the violence in his neighborhood has inspired him to come up with a plan.
Train neighborhood leaders on conflict resolution. Train them on de-escalation. Let's go to these clubs. Work with the club owners. Work with people who own clubs about decreasing violence.
Bartell is planning to hold a press conference later this week and formally call for city leaders to support his community peace project.
We're not going to be able to police and law enforcement our way out of this.
Atlanta police have not shared suspect details.
Thanks, good evening.
They have anyone in custody for this shooting. Reporting from Atlanta, Erica Murphy, 11 Alive News.
All right.
Doesn't like the crime stories as much, and she came in like just in time. Well, I got one more. Well, kinda, and then it's like a police chase, and we got video of this, so I gotta show it. This is in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia police say a man turned the tables on his would-be thief last night. Detectives say a teen tried to rob a man by using a fake gun, but his intended victim had a real one and didn't hesitate to use it.
It's America.
McCormick looking into these details for us. She's live at police headquarters with the latest on the investigation. And what a story here, Annie.
Probably just assume everyone's armed.
This hour, police haven't announced if any charges have been filed. That teenager who was shot still does remain in the hospital. Neighbors say that they watched as the alleged shooter did cooperate with police at the scene. Gunfire erupted in the 2200 block of Emerald Street around 11 Sunday night. It was all caught on surveillance video.
I found a shooting. We had a juvenile shot in the right leg.
911 calls of a 16-year-old found shot on North Front Street quickly revealed that the shooting victim was actually a suspect, and he was.
Yeah, see? The just civilian dude was able to shoot the kid in the leg and subdue him. And how many times do we watch the cops not be able to do that?
Shot in the course of committing an armed robbery on nearby Emerald Street.
Just to clarify, the victim ran up to a vehicle that was parked, and the operator of that vehicle is licensed to carry.
Police believe the person seen shooting in this video was the intended victim, who used his 9mm handgun in self-defense. And they believe the teen shooting victim and another young person robbed the 21-year-old man with a fake gun.
The person that was shot was acting in self-defense.
Neighbors say the shooter remained on the scene when police arrived. The teen shot was rushed to St. Christopher's Hospital.
We heard gunshots, bang, bang, bang. We looked out and we saw somebody running. It's unusual on this block. It's a great block. It's quiet.
I'm really surprised when I come out at that time at night and walk my dogs.
According to 6ABC's data team, 27 self-defense shootings have occurred in Philadelphia over the last 12 months. That's down from 37 self-defense shootings seen in the previous year and 49 the year prior. Now, that teenager was listed in stable condition at the scene. Police did recover a real gun and a fake gun. For now, reporting live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News.
All right, Annie, thank you.
I like him. I forget what his name is. We've seen him a few different times. Was the real gun that they recovered the one that the victim used to shoot the suspect? Yeah, shootings are down. Everything's down. Crime is down. But the statistic they were showing was self-defense uses. Yes, self-defense uses are down. M-Lord's mother-in-law, thank you for watching the show. My name is JustinFREAKIN. We're glad to have you here. This is an interactive news show. So cool. It's the future now. I believe this is self-defense uses. Because crime is down across the board. Lovenhaven is back again. Still will not call in and have a discussion with me. My friend, I want to have a civil discussion with you. Talk about politics. Let's talk about whatever's on your mind. What was that, DJ Dub? I'm sorry, I was high. I forgot what we were talking about. Did I answer your question? I was thinking about M-Lord's mother-in-law. Oh, the crime thing. Crime is not way up. Crime is down. Crime is down across the board. And just like remember I said you're the pull string doll. You're going to tell me that cities like the New York City and LA have not been reporting to the FBI, which is not true. The 2024 data released by the DOJ contains New York City and Los Angeles. Over 89% of the country is represented by the data in the DOJ report that was just released like last month. But even before that, you could go to the NYPD and you can see the NYPD say they have seen a historic drop in crime. You could go to the LAPD and see that they have said they have seen a historic drop in crime. Where do you get this idea that crime is up? Crime is literally at historically low levels. Michael McAllister, good evening. That's fair, Michael, but like if he did, pull a gun on him, he shot him in the leg, he wasn't shooting to kill. Then Slovenhaven, where are you getting that crime is up? Where are these receipts? Violent crime is up 43% since when? Because when I see a statistic like that, you're probably looking from like 2020 to 2022. Saying that crime is up 43%. When I can show you the actual graph and it's all the way fucking down. It's historically low levels of crime. Going to California where 2 people have been hospitalized after a wild police chase ended in a crash.
An investigation is underway after a wild chase in the Inland Empire. About 9:30 last night, Fontana police responded to a call after another law enforcement agency lost a suspect during a pursuit. Officers found the car near Etiwanda and Foothill in Rancho Cucamonga. Police say the driver was speeding, ran a red light, crashing into another vehicle. 2 people from that car were taken to the hospital with moderate injuries. Video from the scene shows another person, possibly the suspect, being transported in handcuffs. It's unclear what exactly the suspect was originally wanted for.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Hey, Mark Brown.
Great ABC7 content.
Murder is up 57% since when? You've got to specify since when. What's your date range on that? FBI finds violent crime declined in 2023. Here's what to know about the report. In the U.S., violent crime in the U.S. dropped in 2023, according to statistics that show a continued trend downward after a coronavirus pandemic-era crime spike. Overall, violent crime declined an estimated 3% in 2023 from the year before, according to the FBI report on Monday. Murders and non-negligent manslaughter dropped nearly 12%. Violent crime has become a focal point in the 2020 presidential race. Crime surged during the coronavirus, but even saying that crime surged from historically low levels, when I can show you the graph, saying crime surged in the pandemic. This takes us to 2021. This is the Pew. See that peak of 93. This is the peak of 93. This is all violent crime. You can see it drastically going down. Trending down. You can't say you're going by data and then I put the data on the screen. And you're like, ooh, I'm going by data. You're a fucking dumbass. That's why I call right-wingers morons. You are a fucking idiot, dude. Even Rush Limbaugh said it right before he died.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
This Pew Research Center. Kanye, good evening. I'm a fucking liar with the fucking data on the screen. This is why I call right-wingers goddamn morons. This is why nobody respects you. You are a stupid fuck. You're shown you're wrong and you still can't accept it. Let's go to New York City, where the former governor and apparently his kids were attacked. I just showed you the FBI. I just showed you the FBI report. Holy fuck, dude. You are a stupid fuck. Former Governor David Paterson has spoke out after he and his son were attacked.
On former Governor David Paterson and his stepson as police search for 5 suspects. The former governor tells Christy
it was a gang attack.
Exactly what happened.
It's really a fortune that it wasn't worse than it is.
Former New York Governor David Paterson recounts what police describe as a gang assault on himself and his 20-year-old stepson, Anthony Sliwa, the oldest son of Guardian Angels founder and former mayoral.
Holy shit, like seriously, how are they this fucking dumb? Here, let's go. Here's the FBI. Here's the FBI. This is their fucking website. FBI releases quarterly crime reports. 72% of the law enforcement population. Blah, 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 blah. Violent crime decreased by 15.2%. Murder decreased by 26.4%. Rape decreased by 25.7%. Robbery decreased by 17.8%. Aggravated assault decreased by 12.5%. Reported property crime also decreased by 15.1%. This is the FBI website. This is the FBI.gov. You have been thoroughly proven wrong. You are a dumb fuck. Nobody gives a shit what you think. I'm actually pissing people off because I'm not doing the news and paying attention to your dumbass. Because, like, they all know you're wrong. But I take a fucking perverse pleasure in trying to embarrass dumb shits like you. Now to New York City, where the former governor of New York was apparently attacked. 5 suspects still on the loose.
On former Governor David Paterson and his stepson as police search for 5 suspects. The former governor tells Christy Kalishian exactly what happened.
It's really a fortune that it wasn't worse than it is.
Former New York Governor David Paterson recounts what police describe as a gang assault on himself and his 20-year-old stepson, Anthony Sliwa, the oldest son of Guardian Angels founder and former mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. Police say they're looking for the individuals in this video who allegedly attacked the two at around 8:30 Friday night. Paterson says it started when they were walking their dog Bella on 2nd Avenue near their 97th Street apartment when Paterson says Sliwa saw 3 people climbing up a fire escape.
He admonished them that he was going to call the police. They came down. They had a kind of a brief argument, and that was the end of that.
But about 45 minutes later, the two went back out without the dog, and Paterson says the crowd grew, possibly recognizing Sliwa from the first encounter, and became violent.
And he was holding off as many other people as he could, but then it became 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, and he was knocked to the ground and dazed by the experience. I got punched in the face a couple of times, and I got punched on the shoulder.
They were both taken to Weill Cornell Medical Center. Sliwa needed 5 stitches on his lower lip and got a number of bruises.
Well, as a father, it's very personal to me. You know, my first instinct is I want revenge.
Although Sliwa and Paterson say the 20-year-old is trained in martial arts, his father, Curtis Sliwa, says he's lost his peace of mind.
He did the right thing. And then when they attacked him, he did the right thing to protect David Paterson.
Here's another look at those 5 individuals police are looking for. Patterson saying neither he nor his stepson recognize them and don't believe that the attack was based on Patterson's history and politics. The 70-year-old former governor, who is also blind, praises his stepson for protecting him as best he could.
When they were insulting him and then starting to fight him, he didn't back down. And I think that took a lot of courage, a lot of bravery.
Police have so far made no arrests and asked that anybody who has information on these 5 individuals to call the Crime Stoppers tip line. On the Upper East Side, Christy Kalishian, CBS News, New York.
I mean, I've thought about eating socks more than once because he's very fatty. You could roast him. I bet he would be awesome. I got wild video out of Arizona where a speeding car was going the wrong way, gets stopped by a tow truck.
Speeding car heading the wrong way on I-17.
But the tow driver stopped the driver before anything bad happened, and it was all caught on camera. Nicole Christine is live with the exclusive details tonight. Nicole,
they're speeding.
Well, this is an incredible story, guys. This driver was coming along the fast lane, heading this way on I-17, just as all the traffic was heading north as it is now. Luckily, this happened at 2 a.m., which means there weren't nearly as many drivers as there are right now. But this tow truck driver is still willing to put his life at risk to stop the wrong way driver and potentially save lives.
I had a feel. I'm still kind of in shock, to be honest with you.
Travis Hamburg was working an overnight shift when he noticed a driver heading south in the northbound fast lane of I-17, right into oncoming traffic.
I was going northbound, noticed people going southbound when they were flashing their high beams at me to get my attention, and I noticed a vehicle in the number 2 lane heading directly towards me, so I proceeded to just lock my brakes up and stop as quick as I could and turn on my emergency lights, and luckily the lady did stop and took notice of the lights.
The heavy wrecker Hamburg was driving had a dash cam that recorded everything, including Hamburg taking matters into his own hands and stopping the wrong way vehicle.
I told her to roll the window down, and she was able to roll it down enough for me to reach in and make sure the vehicle was in park. And then I did take her keys because she seemed out of it or intoxicated. And that's when I had got back into my truck to call 911.
Hamburg said police responded within minutes, and even though he's still processing his emotions, he did remember a calm after the ordeal was over.
ADOT first response. It was a sigh of relief. As soon as we were off the roadway and I knew what the situation was, I was able to collect my thoughts privately in my tow truck and then proceed on home.
An Arizona DBS says the driver is now in custody, and they are investigating if intoxication was a factor. An important reminder to go along with this story of Arizona's move-over law. It says that if you see any vehicle stop with their lights flashing, you need to move over 1 lane or try to slow down if you're not able to make a lane change. This, of course, includes tow trucks and other first responder vehicles. Reporting live tonight near I-17, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
Yeah, wow, and what a cool-looking truck he had, too. Damn, that dude's pimping. Look at that shit. He's having parties up in there. But never driving intoxicated. Who's responsible for that? One who was not responsible was a forensic scientist. This happened in Tennessee? Yeah, I think this happened in Tennessee. A forensic scientist that worked for different counties. YouTube updated their shit again, and it's giving me a hard time.
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation employee who analyzed critical evidence linked to criminal cases from Memphis and Shelby County was fired after her honesty and ethics were questioned. You know, it's all laid out in the employment files WREG investigators uncovered.
Our chief investigator, Jessica Gertler, presses to find out what this means for the criminal cases the employee played a part in.
Class C felony of aggravated assault. Thousands of cases.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Handled at the Shelby County Criminal Justice Center every year.
Thousands of cases.
The warrant that was issued for your arrest.
Each case must be built on evidence so strong there's no reasonable doubt the defendant committed the crime. 70 miles east in Jackson, the evidence in those cases analyzed here at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's lab. In August 2018, the lab hired Sarah Lawrence as a forensic scientist assigned to the forensic biology unit, which, according to the TBI's website, analyzes DNA and performs DNA profiling. A big part of what the unit does is analyze rape kits. In May, according to Lawrence's employment records WREG investigators obtained, she was placed on leave. 2 months later, the TBI director sent this letter. It states, despite warnings and offers to help, Lawrence continued to be involved in a personal situation that is not in alignment with TBI standards, adding it's believed she was dishonest with investigators and possibly court officers. It didn't go into detail, but stated she violated policies, including being professional and ethical at all times, having good judgment, and not knowingly become associated with any subversive organization. On July 30th, Lawrence appealed, claiming there was no explanation or evidence.
Wait a minute, being a part of a subversive organization? This is crazy. Hold on.
Warnings and offers to help, Lawrence continued to be involved in a personal situation that is not in alignment with TBI standards, adding it's believed she was dishonest with investigators and possibly court officers. It didn't go into detail, but stated she violated policies, including being professional and ethical at all times, having good judgment, and not knowingly become associated with any subversive organization. On July 30th, Lawrence appealed, claiming there was no explanation or evidence, later stressing she was one of the top producing forensic scientists in the state. But her and other statements given at the hearing that detail what exactly happened were redacted due to the state law. What's clear, the TBI stood by Lawrence's termination since some of the allegations present giglio issues.
Giglio?
Giglio being key.
We had a conference call with TBI and they detailed sort of the evidence.
Evidence that also caused concern for Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman. He maintains the office's Giglio list, which names law enforcement officers who've had their credibility called into question. If the officer is needed or expected to testify, his team alerts the defense counsel, explaining why the officer is on their list.
We added her to our list on July the 24th.
And since then, they've identified 9 active criminal cases involving Lawrence's work.
Which we considered a good amount. It was a lot of DNA testing on the child sex cases that, are pending.
Hagerman says some were also cold cases. Most involve sexual assaults, rape of a child, or aggravated rape charges. The DNA evidence vital in each case. That's why he says the TBI is retesting it.
It's very rare that, TBI testing for DNA consumes the entirety of a sample. So doing more tests on, the samples and the evidence is normally not a problem.
Only one other TBI forensic scientist is on their list. In 2021, the former district attorney alerted the public defender's office, requiring them to get a second examiner to take a look at that evidence called into question, and reached the same conclusion before a report was issued. The difference now, the U.S. Supreme Court recently ruled a forensic expert testifying on another forensic expert's work could violate the Sixth Amendment unless both are made available at trial. That means if Lawrence was the only one to analyze a rape kit, she would be the only one who could likely testify and help jurors understand the results.
We need to disclose the problems to the defense attorneys, and when possible, we need to retest and have a different scientist, testify in court.
Will it delay some of these cases?
So I think to answer that question, it's probably case by case, but I know that TBI is prioritizing it.
Agencies across West Tennessee send their evidence to the Jackson lab. We asked who else was alerted and just how many rape kits Lawrence analyzed. The TBI says it didn't have any information to share right now. What's certain, Hagerman says their office will be on alert just in case her work is attached to more cases.
Even if it's not a case yet, but maybe it's a case a year from now, it will get flagged and they'll be retested and everything.
Investigating for your news leader, Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
Now, Lawrence did reach out to us tonight, saying in part that the TBI failed her and didn't seek the truth. She claims there was no evidence to support her firing and stressed she was a high-performing employee. The WRAG investigators will continue to dig deeper into this story, and of course, we'll continue to keep you updated.
What was the subversive organization? You guys have any guesses? This was the Memphis area. Do you think she was part of a gang or something? I've got to have an update on this. Good night, Redolent Thought. Light one up, tip one back. Scientology. If it was out west, I might have said Scientology. Memphis, I'm not so sure. The more religious cult would be like the Baptist or something. Let's do a story about a good cop. No, he didn't die. He actually did his job for once.
The details here at 10:30. A man is critically hurt after his car hit a pole in Springfield Township, New Jersey this morning.
His family is now thanking police after they pulled him from a burning car. Action News reporter Leland Pender joins us now live from Springfield Township. And Leland, you spoke with the man's mother tonight.
Yeah, and she tells me that her son is, he's doing well, but he will need multiple surgeries and has a long road to recovery. And she's thankful to all the first responders that assisted, but especially one officer that pulled him from that car and was injured in the process. Springfield Township police say an officer suffered minor injuries pulling a man from this burning car early Friday morning.
I commend this officer. My son was unconscious. He could have died.
But Catherine Templeton says her son Peter is alive. She says he was the man officers pulled to safety.
My son is an important person in my life.
Peter Templeton posted this picture online with his Lincoln Town car just a few days ago. Now here it is, crashed into a pole. It happened about 5 a.m. near South State Road and Collins Drive. Peter was rushed to Crozier Chester Medical Center.
He had a fractured femur, fractured ribs. He also has some internal bleeding.
Police have not said what caused the crash. She thinks he may have fallen asleep at the wheel.
I'm sure that he appreciates what this officer did.
Gotta love all the Trump Vance.
Sleep at the wheel.
I'm sure that he appreciates what this officer did.
Action News reached out to Springfield Township Police to learn more about the officer, but did not hear back. Their identity and nature of their injury is unclear, but Templeton hopes to thank the officer who saved her son.
This officer did a good thing.
Yeah, she said she reached out and has left a voicemail with the police department here, and I'm certain she'll hear back.
She left a voicemail.
Condition, but she says he's alert and talking. Live here in Springfield Township, Leland Pender for Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
Cops wouldn't even answer the phone. She left a voicemail for the cops. Okay, here's a wild story. Let's do this. An off-duty cop apparently tried to break into somebody's home in Georgia and got whacked.
About the death of an off-duty Atlanta officer shot and killed. His shooting has shaken up a quiet Douglas County neighborhood. Atlanta News First Bridget Spencer joins us live in Winston. And Bridget, police say the shooting, it was justified.
Right. This story has everything. Good cop, justified shooting, robbery gone right. Holy shit.
It was justified.
Right, Sean, that homeowner says it was self-defense when they shot and killed that off-duty Atlanta police officer just after about 5 this morning. Now, neighbors have seen investigators scouring this area and this yard all day, and it certainly has them spooked.
When I looked out, I saw all the blue lights and everything, you know, and just shocked.
Ralph and Brenda Medlock woke up to a crime scene directly across from their home early Friday morning.
My daughter called me. She lives right down the street, about few minutes after 5 and said, "Mother, don't go outside."
Investigators say around 5 a.m., a homeowner on Orkney shot and killed off-duty Atlanta police investigator Aubrey Horton. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says it was all in self-defense, and police say a video that has not yet been released shows Horton either under the influence or suffering from a mental health episode.
I just can't fathom how horrible he must feel, the gentleman, where it happened over there, you know. And then this young officer, it's heartbreaking.
The Medlocks say their son-in-law was one of the first responders on the scene.
He was the first one there. He lives right down the street, and when he was going to work, he was already in his car and everything else and heard the gunshot.
Investigator Horton was recently recognized as Investigator of the Year. He's been with the Atlanta Police Department since 2015.
Oh yeah, mental health care for all.
There's still more questions than answers.
Health care for all.
I think there's a lot that we don't know yet, but regardless, it's not going to change the laws.
Now, we've also learned that Investigator Horton lives in this same neighborhood. In fact, he lives just down the road. We did make a stop at his home, but did not get an answer. Atlanta police, they tell us they will be working closely with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office on this case. We're live in Douglas County tonight. Bridget Spitzer, Atlanta News First.
Tonight there. Thank you, Bridget. Hey, Minty, if you're still here, I am sorry I did not see you redeem the lurker love. I need to put an alert on the screen. I want you to know I am taking care of you. Az is lurking tonight. I see you in here. Good evening. Need to say anything. We just wanted to show. Parlalur. Okay. This could be a really good joke. I don't know what hypertrichosis is. So we have to look up what hypertrichosis is, and then I will evaluate your joke. Hypertrichosis is defined as excessive hair growth anywhere on the body in either males or females. Excessive hair growth. She'd be Kamala Harris. The fact that I had to look it up definitely takes away from the punch, but I also don't think it was that good in the. I think it was a lot to get there for not enough payoff. But I appreciate the effort and the intelligence that went into it. I give it a 6. Two people shot and killed at a cannabis store.
At 5, gunfire outside of a North Portland marijuana dispensary has left 2 people dead and police searching for answers. Fox 12's Julia Lopez has more on what we're learning about the shooting.
Police
Lucky,
just after 9:30 last night.
Lucky, you always got that like biting wit about you. Biting too, I love it.
That's just as LaModa here on North St. Louis Avenue would have been closing up for the night. Police say when they arrived, they found 2 people dead and arrested 1 suspect who they say is cooperative. I spoke with neighbors about what they saw unfold.
Well, it's shocking, but not surprising.
Neighbors surrounding LaModa Dispensary say this part of St. John's is relatively quiet. They were stunned at what unfolded just blocks from their homes Thursday night.
A bunch of cops rushed by.
Carrie,
following the cops.
Thank you.
My husband texted me and said he heard 15 gunshots.
Shannon Eagles was on her way home from work when she saw someone take
Carlisle or. Can you give me a phonetical pronunciation? I want to get it right. Thank you for being a freaking follower, but I don't want to butcher your name. You're from North Portland? looks like a cool little area. That looks like the coolest little,
St.
little
John's
dispensary
is relatively
too.
Quiet. They were stunned at what unfolded just blocks from their homes Thursday night.
A bunch of cops rushed by. I came following the cops, and then my husband texted me and said he heard 15 gunshots.
Shannon Eagles was on her way home from work when she saw someone taken away in handcuffs. She owns a barbershop half a mile down the road and says crime in the neighborhood is top of mind for her.
It's shocking because people are dead, but it's not surprising because it's North Portland, and people know the cops don't show up.
What?
Sorry, but I had a home invasion a month ago.
Yeah, cops are useless.
Someone is currently in my home. It took them a half hour to show up.
Oh, yeah.
She's never in her shop without her concealed carry for her protection. The Portland Police Bureau reports in August there were...
Did it look like that cop was doing anything with like a purpose? He's being so slow and methodical.
Never in her shop without her concealed
give a
carry
shit.
for her protection. The Portland Police
Probably making overtime.
There were 29 assaults reported in St. John's and 64 crimes against property. Similar numbers were reported last August, 24 assaults and 79 property crimes.
It's been pretty quiet the entire time that they've been open. There's never been any like real issues going on. But then again, surprise.
Matt O'Keefe lives down the road from Eagles and says he feels the neighborhood is relatively peaceful, though not perfect. He heard gunshots last night as well.
You hear it every now and then, so it's not like the most unusual thing in the world.
I reached out to LaMotta and to Portland Police to ask whom officers took away in handcuffs and what led up to the gunfire, and I'm still pushing for those answers.
God damn, that truck was huge.
Information, contact PPV. Reporting in North Portland, Julia Lopez, Fox.
All the vehicles driving by are huge. Why everybody drives such big vehicles there? Yes, them only taking cash is a huge problem, and we really need to decriminalize weed on the federal level so that they can participate in banking and credit cards. Going to Ohio, where police thought they were going to dig up a body, but apparently that did not happen.
This wouldn't have happened without TikTok. I was not going to do this myself. I have guilt now that I wasn't going to do this on my own. This has been the most absurd.
Yes, please look up new ways and words to insult Justin.
Experience of my life. There's no body. There's nobody. There's people across the street. And they are doing a fine job at putting my stuff back up.
Well, it started as a search in an East Columbus backyard that blew up into a TikTok sensation after a 5-hour dig into a woman's backyard. We finally have an answer on what Columbus police found. I'm Angela Ann.
I'm Andrew Kinsey in for Yolanda. This afternoon, we learned police did not find human remains.
That guy's a robot. That's like some Westworld shit right there. Are they both AI? Whoa.
Or animal remains after using both shovels and heavy-duty equipment to dig.
Well, neighbors telling 10 TV that it's normally a quiet area, but today, anything but that. There were people lining the streets who had learned about this story through TikTok, and we have some drone video from earlier today. You can see Columbus police having dozens of officers out there also digging for that rug. They were using shovels at first, and at one point, an officer was chest deep inside that hole. 10 TV also saw police taking out pieces
down in a hole
mentioned in that viral TikTok. 10 TV's Tara Jabor spoke with neighbors after police announced nothing was found.
It's a tight-knit community. There are 86 homes out here, and we all
This is not naturally existing.
This community has been here since 1965, and so that's only the second homeowner of that home, and those people were very quiet.
Relieved. This all is crazy, and it's weird that it all comes from a TikTok situation.
Well, police say the investigation is now over. The homeowner posted that she is thankful for the officer's help.
Wait a minute, what was
Injuries are starting.
What was the TikTok though? I don't understand. Did I miss something? What?
Not going to do this myself. I have guilt now that I wasn't going to do this on my own. This has been the most absurd, insane experience of my life.
But what happened on TikTok that caused the cops to dig up your yard? I'm very much missing that part of the story.
What is believed to be a rug that was discovered buried in a backyard on the home in East Columbus. This is gaining major attention after a series of videos went viral on TikTok. And right now, police are continuing their investigation.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It's a rug.
By that rug after putting it on pause.
But what caused? What was the TikTok video that caused this?
Pause overnight. 10 TV's Tara Jabor is joining us now live on scene with the latest from police. Tara?
Well, Kiara, we just heard from Columbus police. They told us they don't have an update at this time, but police have been digging behind this home since about 9:30 this morning. Now, a lot of people have been showing up to the home to see what exactly is going on. Neighbors tell me that this isn't normal. It's a tight-knit community. So you can see right behind me, police have set up that tent. They were digging underneath that tent, but right now it seems like they're not digging anymore. Now, let's take a look from our drone. We've seen 6 officers at one point with shovels and hose digging into the ground. This all started when the homeowner posted on TikTok that she found a rug buried in her backyard. Now, at one point, an officer was chest deep in this hole, and the front of the woman's home is ripped off by police with the crime.
Okay, did they use a cadaver dog first? Or did they just be like, there's a rug in the hole, let's dig? Because wouldn't you want to bring the dog in and let it, like, alert first?
Search unit right out front. Now, I spoke to Gregory Napier, who lives very
Before you waste time digging?
He's lived in this neighborhood, Ravenwood, for about 20 years. He says a previous homeowner was an older couple. Then about a year ago, Katie Santry and her family moved in. Greg walks every day at 7 a.m. Today, it was a different kind of walk.
I was curious and said, okay.
Curiouser and curiouser, I bet. Go to TikTok. I found this is the original video that caused it.
Okay, so I'm sitting outside with my friends who were actually the ones that were here for the dig party and trying to like decompress from everything that's happened. My anxiety.
A dig party.
And I cried on TikTok Live with 100,000 people.
You just invited people over to dig up her yard?
Of the dog's marking. It was already on live, and that's why I'm basically going to share everything that is already out there in the world. And then anything that happened essentially after the police told me to turn off the camera will remain in the hands of the law. They will be here tomorrow to dig. And yeah, but here is the video of the dogs hitting.
Wait! That what?
God.
That don't mean anything.
Oh my.
Kidding. Oh wait a minute! It was actually a trained dog.
Both dogs hitting on the hole, and basically from there everything went to fucking shit.
I thought it was just her dogs.
Terrified, losing my mind. I started to cry. I asked the cops if I need a lawyer. They are very aware that I'm the one who called, and they have no concerns that it was me. So if there's anyone sitting here thinking I did this, I certainly did not.
Sure you did. That's exactly what somebody who has somebody buried in their yard would say.
Crime scene investigators will be here digging, and they said that there's
I'm giving it to her. I'm sorry.
blood on it. That doesn't necessarily mean there is a body in my backyard. This could be someone got a bloody nose. It could be anything.
To be fair, somebody said TikTok brain. To be fair, I will tell you, as somebody who creates content, it wants you to post all goddamn day. Like, it demands that of you in order to give you rewards in the algorithm, and it is sick. It is sick that we do that to people. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Let me show you what happens when you don't post on TikTok for a little while. 1 view, 8 views, 28 views, 9 views, 10 views, 28 views, 16, 5, 14. Well, you may say, Justin, maybe your content is just not popular. But if I scroll down, 26.4, 300, 300, 300, 600, 300, 400, 200, 1,000, 700. You don't post for a little while, you get out of the habit, there's 10K, 0.6K, 2.9K, 1.4K. You don't post for a little while, it punishes you. Because I've been regularly posting again. These are all like, those all went, these two went up today, that went up Friday, the Thursday. It fucking sucks. Trying to break through fucking sucks. Anyway, follow me on TikTok. I'm JustinFREAKIN. You can follow me anywhere. I'm JustinFREAKIN. Hey, remember how we did this? I should have done this with the... I should have done this with the TBI story about the forensic examiner who apparently was involved in some subversive group that we still don't know the name of. What is going on in Tennessee? A Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper has been sued for arresting a sober driver for DUI.
But I'm just saying, if you have falsely arrested him, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay, ma'am.
I promise you, because I know my son.
Body camera footage shows a mother's outrage as her son is arrested for a crime he did not commit. Tonight, 2 THP troopers are being sued in federal court.
They arrested a Tennessee man for DUI who was sober the entire time. It's the latest development in Jeremy Finley's sobering problem investigations, where he's finding sober Tennesseans arrested for DUI.
I need you to get back in your vehicle for me.
Okay, I will.
Ask yourself this about your mom.
What's the problem?
If you'd been arrested on the interstate and your mother happened to drive by and see you?
Why has my son been arrested?
For driving under the influence, ma'am.
He has not been drinking, sir.
What would your mom say? Well, in the case of Thomas Manis, who was arrested for DUI while claiming he was sober.
You got anything to drink today?
His mom had plenty to say.
But I'm just saying, if you have falsely arrested him, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay, ma'am.
I promise you, because I know my son.
And it turns out mother does know best. Manis was arrested and charged with DUI, but his blood work shows he was completely sober. No alcohol, no drugs. And now he's suing both the state troopers.
Damn right he is.
Citing unlawful seizure and false arrest. And it's what's once again captured on police body camera before the field sobriety test is even given that raises more questions about why police are arresting innocent people, charging them with a crime they didn't commit. Real quick, you may remember, as part of our sobering problem investigations, we showed you what a Rutherford County deputy said about a pool player he just pulled over for a DUI. Take a listen.
Never known a sober person to shoot much pool. Oh, I know.
He arrested that driver, who ended up being sober too. Now, watch what is said about Thomas Manis last December. He was pulled over, not for swerving or speeding, but for having too dark of tinted windows in Monroe County in East Tennessee. Before the field sobriety test even begins, Trooper Billy Yates Matoy says he knows a relative of Manis's and has a suspicion about Manis.
Probably got weed, probably high.
Yeah.
I guarantee you smoked weed today. When's the last time you smoked marijuana?
Not anytime soon. I'd say probably about 4 years ago.
So if I done a blood test on you right
This
now,
dickhead.
nothing's come back in your system.
It'd come back clear. It'd come back clear.
According to Manis's lawsuit, he successfully performed each field sobriety test, but still was charged.
Am I in custody?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Arrested?
Yes, sir.
For
arrested for driving under the influence.
Oh my gosh. Is there any way I can do a breathalyzer and just...
We don't do breathalyzers, sir.
You can imagine what his mom had to say about that.
Did you give him a breathalyzer?
Man, we don't do breathalyzers.
Did you give him a... Then this is not right.
Ma'am?
How can you do this?
And sometimes it's not what you hear or see that says a lot. Because after the field sobriety test, Trooper Schreiner goes behind the car to talk to Trooper Yates-Matoy and turns his body cam audio off. For 30 seconds, what they talk about, we don't know. And when the tow truck driver arrives to pick up Manis's vehicle, the driver asks Schreiner this question. And the audio is once again turned off.
Wow, so Jeremy, can state troopers do that? Just turn off their audio?
Well, Marius, we asked the Tennessee Highway Patrol that. A spokesman said they can't comment because of the pending litigation. So I asked for their policy on turning off audio and why they don't use breathalyzers anymore. And we are waiting to get that. Once we get it, we'll let you know. You might have noticed in that story that we didn't speak to Manis. His attorney, Scott Canabos, said they couldn't comment because the case was pending.
I bet. Oh my God. Dickhead cops. Because then they can't arbitrarily arrest people. Exactly. Tennessee, they will arrest you for being sober. Meanwhile, in New York City, you might actually be able to or in New York State, in the entire state, you might actually be able to get away with driving while drugged.
It is illegal to drive drunk, no exceptions. But in New York, at times, a driver can be seriously impaired by a drug and yet face no consequence.
Investigative reporter Masa Saidi is exposing this troubling loophole in New York State. Here's a preview of the investigation, which airs in full tonight at 11.
Let's go! Stand over here!
Light one up, tip one back.
Shower on the Long Island Expressway. In police body camera video, you hear an officer trying to question a truck driver.
You got somebody following you. You're in the HOV lane. You're hitting the wall. Now what'd you do?
Police say he hit the median, crossed all lanes of traffic, and crashed.
You got a driver's license on you? Yes, sir.
It happened last July, but since the case is still open, we're not identifying the driver.
You gotta stay with me, man. I gotta get over. No, you gotta stay with me. I know you're trying. I know you're trying. But you gotta. So what'd you take? Sorry. What'd you take?
The driver never answers that question. Repeatedly, he appears to doze off.
Yeah. Yes.
Panics.
Where's the truck going?
The officer administers a field sobriety test. In court records, he alleges the driver became responsive when he received Narcan, medicine that reverses an opioid overdose. The man was charged with driving while impaired by drugs. But opioids? 6 months later, the charge was dismissed.
Wow. Masa joins us now, as you can see. So where does that case stand right now?
So I talked with the driver. He says that he was just suffering from heat exhaustion. He denies everything, but prosecutors say this was drug driving. They say it was dismissed only because of this loophole. Now, the reason we were able to get these records, the reason we were able to show you this video is the case is still open. Police claim they recovered drugs from his wallet at the hospital, so he is still facing a possession charge.
So what is this loophole exactly?
So in order to be charged with drug driving, the officer has to be able to name the exact drug that you're on, and then they have to confirm that that drug is on a list created by lawmakers. If a person refuses to confess, like that gentleman, he didn't say what he was on. If they refuse to have their blood drawn, which, as you can imagine, they're going to refuse to have their blood drawn, or if the specific drug is not on the list, you cannot charge them with drug driving, no matter how impaired they might be. And it's very surprising to a lot of people. Even some police officers don't know about this.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah, it really is. And you can tell me if you want to save this detail for the 11. But I'm guessing when you spoke to the suspect, you
she's a cute
asked him,
weasel.
okay, well, why did Narcan help if it was heat exhaustion? Did he have an answer for this?
Thank you so much for asking that. So he actually denied Narcan. He's denying everything. He said they didn't give me Narcan, but we checked, and Narcan would not revive you from heat exhaustion.
Right.
According to like a forensic expert, the prosecutor, a state website.
Yeah, but I don't believe the cops that like it was the Narcan that brought him back or something. Also, like That's a specific set of drugs. It would have to be an opioid, an oxy, a Roxicet, Loratab, Percocet, which you're not likely to overdose on something smaller like that. So, like, I don't know, like, because me, being a druggie, first thing I thought, Klonopin, Xanax, something to that, a sedative. What are those? Benzos. I don't like those shits. Because everybody, that's what they do when they're on them. You know how many people have burnt my couch being on one with a cigarette? No.
Found so.
And so the loophole in New York, how does that work in other states?
So it's very unique. New York and 3 other states, Alaska, Florida, and Massachusetts, are the only ones with this loophole. And the NTSB has been trying to close it, urging the governor to close it. So we are trying to get some accountability here. And like, why do we have this? It doesn't fully make sense at this point to me.
And tell us about what you have coming up tonight then at 11.
Okay, it's a very powerful story. We talk with a man who lost his child, a teenager, 20 years ago.
Done with that story. With a trucker, you can't do speed anymore because, like, they test for amphetamines and shit. So it had to have been something he was probably prescribed. But then again, that didn't look like a trucker, right? Like, he's not driving and picking up loads and shit. It was like a truck that was hauling some sort of construction material or dirt or something like that. Got to wonder if this pilot was on something when Frontier Airlines plane tried to land in Las Vegas. We have some wild footage.
The frightening moments when a plane made a hard landing in Las Vegas. You see in this video, in this picture, flames shooting from the Frontier Airlines flight. ABC's Phil Lipoff has the details. Phil, good morning.
There was video.
Good morning, Janae. There is video from outside and inside this plane showing the very tense moments when the pilot's call of smoke in the cockpit turns to fire on the tarmac. This morning, dramatic video, flames spewing from a Frontier Airlines jet as it lands in Las Vegas.
We have no communication with the pilot whatsoever. His radios are out.
It happens fast. Watch again slowed down. As the plane touches down, you can see the fireball erupt.
Yeah, they got a fire in the right engine.
Flight 1326 from San Diego first reported a problem around 3:15.
I ain't flying no
Pilot
more.
declaring an emergency. Smoke in the cockpit. The landing hard. Passenger Jose Carlos Mena capturing this frightening video as the plane came to a stop. The engine in flames.
In the moment that we were landing, we just see through the window that we were on fire, and everyone was scared and surprised.
Smoke still billowing. Crews at Harry Reid International at the ready, quickly moving in, dousing the flames. Passengers saying they were unaware there was a problem until the fiery landing.
It was a very hard landing and followed by a lot of shaking in the plane, which something seemed wrong, especially when I looked out the window and I saw fire vehicles before we even landed. You could see them down on the ground there. I figured something was wrong. I didn't think it was our plane.
Overnight, the plane parked while investigators figure out what went wrong.
This aircraft on landing, an Airbus 321, had all sorts of sparks down around the main gear. What we also don't know is whether or not it was a result of a hard landing or something else.
Right, and they'll be looking into that in the investigation. I have a statement here from the airline. Frontier says, in part, no injuries were reported. There were 190 passengers, 7 crew members on board. The cause of the incident is under investigation, and of course the FAA is taking lead on that investigation. Gio?
So glad that no one was injured. All right, Phil, thank you so much.
Now let's go to Georgia, where we're going to be checking in with the Conyers Biolab, which is apparently becoming a very big problem. We've been covering it since it happened the other night. The shit's still going on.
Tonight at 6, calls continue to shut down the Biolab facility in Conyers. Just hours ago, members of the Party for Socialism and Liberation held a rally at the state capitol calling for the owners of Biolab to close its doors. It's been 1 week since a fire at that facility sent a plume of chemicals into the air. Now, we've heard from many of you in Rockdale County who say that you're experiencing skin, nose, eye, and respiratory issues. And right now, the EPA is still running air quality tests, but says so far this is the third fire at BioLab since 2004. Protesters telling us one fire was way too many.
Is killing us, is infecting our lungs, eyes, nose.
For pool chemicals.
So, something needs to be done about this. It's been 3 times over 20 years. It's too many times. This happening once is too many times. BioLab needs to be shut down.
11 Alive did reach out to Kick Consumer Products. That's the owner of BioLab, for a statement or a reaction to today's rally, and we're still waiting to hear back. For those of you who live in Rockdale County right now, there is an overnight shelter in place in effect from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. The order is set to expire tomorrow, but we're going to let you know if any of that changes. To prioritize the safety and well-being of the students and staff in Rockdale County schools will be virtual this week through Wednesday.
Only about 20 miles east of Atlanta. I had no clue who this kid was until this story happened. But apparently he's a pretty big streamer. Name is Jack Daughtery. Crashed his custom McLaren on stream, apparently texting while he was driving. What? Was that like the Nickelodeon special or something? What's that paint job? That's ugly as fuck. This is the video of him. Oh, he slid. It's rainy as shit. Oh my god. Stupid fuck, texting while driving in the rain.
Oh, fuck. No, watch out, watch out. Oh. Fuck, open the door,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, DJ Dub.
Locked in here. Holy shit. Holy shit. Where's your phone?
Good content.
Me too. Help. What is he doing, bro?
Kick in the car.
What else do you have to do? My whole body kit, everything. All my money's gone. The exhaust, the whole body kit. My insurance won't cover that, right?
My insurance ain't gonna cover that, right? Nope. Here's the deal. The 20-year-old internet personality was cruising down a slick Miami highway in his expensive whip on Saturday morning while on the platform Kick. So he was streaming. He wasn't just on his phone. With the beginning of the now viral moment showing him looking down at his phone while behind the wheel. They definitely aren't going to cover it because that was totally your fault, son. And they got video evidence of it. Insurance will look for any reason to deny your claim. And negligence on your part while driving, boom! Daughtery suddenly loses control of the vehicle, screaming as he smashes into a roadside railing. His cameraman in the passenger seat, who was capturing the flame, begins to moan in pain after the hit. There's a big panic. There's a bit of panic heard as the camera gets knocked out. And aftermath eventually confirms how bad the crash was. By the way, it seems Daughtery has been catching heat ever since Saturday's wreck, with many online pointing out that Jack was more concerned about his McLaren than the dude that was with him.
You got like 3 stitches and.
Congrats on your viral clip, dude. You're a fucking.
No, I'm banned on Kick now.
Wait, perma?
Bro, yeah, they said it's a permit. It's for a
indefinite.
Perma ban from Kick. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know you, because haven't they caught people trafficking and shit on there that haven't gotten perma banned?
It's an accident.
What?
It's like I get it if I was
Yeah.
He got like 3 stitches and.
Congrats on your.
Is he like super big? Is he like millions of followers? I mean, if he's got a McLaren, I guess so, right? Kigyo. Well, see, I always wonder about things being staged. Apparently, he really isn't on Kick anymore. I don't even think I'm signed in Kick on this one. Channel not found, really not there. Well, I mean, do you really want to call it Twitch for Nazis? Because I was there for a year. It's weird seeing like in the Media Winch video, seeing all the comments from Kick popping up on some of the newer content. So good to be back on Kick. Or I mean on Twitch, on Kick. Well, here's like Kick will give you like baseline money if you stream for like 5 hours, 6 days of the week. I've thought about it. That's cozy.tv. I've tried to get on Cozy, and like you've got to be invited onto Cozy. You can't just sign up and be on Cozy. I tried. The Nazis won't let me in. I tried to invade their space. They're really sensitive about their spaces, right? Like they tell me to get on BitChute. I'm even developing a following. I wish I could show you guys BitChute comments, but they are just god awful. But amazingly enough, I actually have followers on BitChute. 157 subscribers. Been around for a while. JustinFREAKIN channel on BitChute. But let me tell you, boy, do they not like see it. 86 views, that's more than it got on YouTube. 72 for the RFK and Cheryl David one. I'm sorry, Cheryl Hines. $23 people watched me and Media Winch. Come on. Yeah, I'm getting some of these have numbers comparable to YouTube. But let me tell you, oh boy, the things people say. These are all telling me how Jewish I look. I assure you, calling me Jewish comes up a lot. For one celebrity out in a car he has no business driving to a celebrity that might have some business driving this car. Keanu Reeves debuts as a pro auto racer at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, apparently spun out. Hollywood actor Keanu Reeves made his professional auto racing debut on Saturday at the famed Indy Motor Speedway. The Matrix star qualified 31st of 35 cars, ran as high as 21st before a single car crash a little more than halfway through the 45-minute race briefly stopped him in his tracks. Car Keanu was driving a Toyota. Let's see his wreck. Finished 25th in the race. Not bad for your first time. I go over to Twitter again. Was it even televised? I'm not seeing. Here we go. Here we go.
Turns 8 and 9 and into 10.
Oh, just lost control of it.
And spin you around, so
That's totally easy to do.
rear drive thing there, but keep
Of turns 8 and 9 and into 10. Let's take a look here. That's Reeves right in the middle of your screen in the 92. Kyle, what do you see?
He's gonna swing back to the left. It just gets away from him. You see his hands moving really quickly to try to get ahead of it, but there's so much weight transfer happening in that section, and if the rear starts to step out on you, if you don't grab it quick enough.
Not sure what you're talking about. Picture of a redhead cartoon holding a cloud. There is another military helicopter passing over me. I guess I usually, if they've been passing over me, I haven't heard them because I usually have something on, I guess. Good night, Lucky. Light one up, tip one back. Was it on? Talking about Media Winch? Video next to it. I don't know if I can make it happen again. My apologies, Prometheus. Oh, that. Guess that just went. I guess that was a BitChute thing. Yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about. Guess that's their loading screen or some shit. We finally figured it out. Yay. All the tragedy that's been going on in Appalachia. It was a big titty anime thing. So the devastation in Appalachia, I'm glad to be able to bring you a feel-good story.
Breaking news and top stories.
Shut up, Lester.
See News app or follow us on.
If you're watching on YouTube or you're consuming the podcast, we're gonna say bye to you now. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right now. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live. Pan 2000, welcome in. Thank you for being a freaking follower. I'm gonna hit the record button again because we're gonna do something because I got beef. We're gonna go beef with somebody. The other night I rated you guys into Toad PhD. If you didn't stick around, I called into his show. He does an online advice show, and he wouldn't give me advice. So I'm gonna call back. We're gonna fuck with him this time. Now let me go get something to drink. So this is Toad PhD.
Baby, are you listening?
Online advice show. We're gonna call in.
Turn the heat on.
We're not gonna say we're a streamer this time. We're not gonna raid into him beforehand. I don't know what I'm gonna ask for advice on. I gotta think on this. Okay, everybody calls. Anybody from my chat would be cool. Grab the phone number here. Is he just sitting there?
Listening when John Port called because I heard it from upstairs. Baby! Where the fuck is she?
Thank you for calling Online Advice Show. Your call is important to us. Please hold and Professor Toad will be with you shortly. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Online Advice Show. How can I help you today, sir?
How can I get pussy like you?
Get some money, pimp. Sounds like you don't got none.
Sounds like do you have money, dude? Look at that chair you're sitting in.
What, this is a Herman Mylar. You can't even afford to fucking know what this is or where it's fucking sold.
Damn, fair enough. What's that background you got back there?
Thanks for calling, sir.
Oh, I'd give this motherfucker a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Oh, what's that background you got
Thanks for
back
calling,
there?
sir. Poor people.
Wow. I've gotten punked by this guy twice. Maybe King Troll of the Internet has met his match.
I got Minecraft on my mind. Hi, welcome to Online Advice Show. How can I help you today, sir?
I'm here to help you. Sorry, I was talking. Yes, you show me your problem, I will help you. But first, I need to tell you that you have a virus on your computer.
We've got dueling advice here.
Download more RAM.
1 out of 10. Listen, a real Indian tech support guy would say virus, not a virus. You have a virus on your computer, okay? 1 out of 10.
See.
It's a virus, not virus, dude. All right, welcome to Online Advice Show. How can I help you today, sir?
Hey,
Gay's welcome.
I'm from college, bro.
You going to school?
High school. Yeah.
Your parents can afford to send you?
Graduating. Somehow, yeah.
They can?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Probably like New York.
What angle can I come at this from?
Yeah, let's talk about the school. What school are you going to?
Connie, or like...
This is the Online Advice Show, and he shut me down twice.
You got accepted into NYU?
Yeah.
For what?
SAT score. Oh, major? Marketing, business.
Marketing business. Okay. Cool. Actually, no, not cool. Marketing kind of sucks. Marketing is actually literally super gay right now. Marketing is mad lame. You should do something else. Do something cool instead.
That's good advice.
Fucking lame right now. You should do something interesting, like
I agree with him.
You know, something that's skilled, highly skilled.
Like cybersecurity.
That is not anything. That doesn't even mean anything. That doesn't make any sense. Cybersecurity is a facet of the technology world. That's like one thing. Cybersecurity is just something. Cybersecurity is like an action. That's not something that you can do. It's like
okay. Let me try again. Let me get political with him.
It's like an ethos. You know, it's like something that you build. It's like a facet. It's not something you can major in or go to school for. You want to go to school?
What if I
You want to make a lot of money?
Go ahead.
He has given me less than a minute both times.
You know, do something in the engineering realm. You know, learn how to build things.
I thought we'd actually have a discussion about how to be a bigger streamer.
Specialized math.
But no.
Make things that people want. You know, learn how to, build something physical. Learn how to build something digital.
As if this motherfucker's ever built anything.
Learn these things that make a lot of money, right? Not things that don't make a lot of money. Like marketing doesn't really make a lot of money. Marketing is like 20-year-old women in miniskirts who make TikTok videos now. That shit's really lame. And they don't even get paid that much. You want to learn... You want to do cybersecurity. There's like that's just like a facet of like being an engineer. Like
yeah, like I didn't even know the name of the chair. Like, is that an actual fancy chair? It looks like fucking Walmart as shit.
What are you gonna do?
Doesn't even look like a Lazy Boy.
And install
Lazy Boy is quality.
Server.
That looks like some shit you'd sit in at a funeral home.
The entirety of the worknet at a company, like, you know what I mean? It's not really like.
Let me ask you this. Did you go to school?
Yeah, it was a waste of time, total waste of time and money. Yeah.
You majored in though?
I went to school and I basically got
played video games all the time.
It's hard to explain. It
ended up dropping out.
Really like a 4-year degree in anything, but I have, or I did have at least. Well,
an
I still do
associate.
kind of have.
Ah, motherfucker! I was interested in what he majored in, but apparently he didn't major in anything. It sounds like he got an associate's. How'd you lose my Discord, Kikyo? He learned how to face paint. He definitely didn't go to... God damn, he's got a shit ton of commercials turned on.
Thank you for calling Online Advice Show. Your call is important to us. Please hold and Professor Toad will be with you shortly. Thank you.
Probably not going to take it because it's the same number. But lucky me, I got another number ready to go. Like the good troll that I am. Why am I like this? I'm going to ask him who I should vote for president. See if we get somewhere. One more attempt at this. You want to call? He ain't got no weight loss advice. I don't know what his deal is. He is Toad PhD on Twitch. I don't know. I can't get the other phone number to actually call him.
Facet of the way the business operates. That is so wrong, LOL. You're a retarded person who doesn't make any money.
I'll have to come back at him another night. So I raided into him the other night. What was it, Thursday, guys? Maybe it was Wednesday. And he shut me the fuck down. So even the chat was like, hey, somebody raided into you. And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Is the
Please
fact
hold
that
and Professor Toad will be with you shortly.
you're a
Thank
flaming
you.
hot
Thank you for
homosexual,
calling
so
Online
that
Advice
would
Show.
never work.
Your call is
It would never
important to
work
us.
if it was a gay guy on the
Please
screen. It
hold
would
and
never
Professor
work.
Toad will be with you
You
shortly.
don't
You don't think
Thank
like a
you.
gay guy with like
Thank
a
you for
jock
calling
No, because
Online
then it just
Advice
turns into
Show.
it just turns into a
Your
gay thing.
call is
Everyone's like, oh my
important
god, this
to
guy's
us.
gay. Every
Please
guy on the
hold and
screen's
Professor
gay. He's a
Toad
gay
will be
guy on
with
the
you
screen.
shortly.
It always just
Thank
turns into
you.
the gay thing.
Thank you for
it's,
calling
you can
Online
never be
Advice
anything
Show.
other than gay.
Your call is
to
important
the
to us.
internet.
You
Please
know my
hold and
name is?
Professor
Have I
Toad
ever
will
told
be
you?
with you shortly.
Oh my
Thank you.
god.
I
How do
remember
you
everything.
remember
Thanks for
that?
calling, sir.
Hi, welcome to Online Advice Show. How can I be today, sir?
Hey, Professor Toad, I'm the dude that just raided you.
Okay. Do you have an online advice question today?
I want advice on how to be a bigger streamer. Can you give me advice on that?
Thanks a lot for calling.
Oh, motherfucker! Shut me down twice.
One was easy. Hi, welcome to...
Call
The
is
only
important
problem
to
with
us.
So yeah, Professor Toad not playing my game. Oh fuck. He did call marketing gay. I kind of agreed with that. Then again, he's saying gay isn't bad. Usually I would use gay as in, you know, pretty rad. We like to gay things up around here.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I think it's an indictment of the type of I think it's an indictment of anyone who is Dave not on yet again. Oh, I'll be goddamn. Guess it's still hot over there in California. I'm thinking about just keeping you guys to myself, keeping you company. Dave, come on in an hour. You want me to keep you company? We can do that, I guess. We can flip into fun time. Boom. J-Dub, does Dave come on in an hour? I'll keep you company until he comes on. Make that happen. I was just looking at the selection stream. Not that I was thinking about sending you guys over to Amy. I haven't checked.